waiting for you.
Who is the bell?
Because you're part reindeer.
Means I'm the winner.
The whiner?
Wiener.
No. Hopefully that'll be close enough. Anyway.
I think we're
Hi ho, guys and gals. Welcome to Tool Talk Live every Sunday night with me and the missus. First of all, we got to stop and say a big thank you to Tim Happy for his $10 pre-game super chat. Go for it.
Thank you so much.
I forgot my headphone, my earphone, my ear protection.
The little, is it like a pear? Anyway,
yes.
Everybody knows what that is. I think it's a pear, but it's adorable.
Anyway, howdy ho, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? We got everyone in the house. Look at all these people. We got Tim Happy here, Novus Nick, Cripple Kid, Brett Labsky. I'm terrible with last names. Let's see here. Richard Elliott's in the house. Ronald Smith. Mr. Spartacus is here. Artie Mike. D-Diz. D-Diz in the house. You know, it's going to be a good night. Random Sandwiches around. You know, he always makes me hungry when I see his icon. I'm like, I just think of like Random Sandwiches walking by. I'm like, oh, I just... Like
Daughter Raw. Ronald Smith. Steven. Ted Robinson.
Vincent Lindsay. That's a name. Vincent Lindsay. A lot of alliteration to that one. Grizz is in the house. Let's see.
Shaun of the Dead. Brett. Jay.
Hold on.
Dear Falcon. We have helicopters.
Helicopter right over our house. Mm-hmm. Jeez.
Yep, it's because they knew we were going to be online.
Ronald Smith says, I hope Vanna White is sporting her new jacket. Hide the batteries. Yeah.
Yes, I am, because it's going to be gold.
Oh, let's see here. Steve's in the house. Ted Robinson.
Benjamin says, finally caught a live feed. Happy New Year, Bear.
Awesome. Mike Schmidt's in the house, or Schmiz. Schmiz. I lost it. It jumped on me. Shaun of the Dead. Let's see here. We're sitting in the wrong spots. We are? We're sitting in the wrong spots? We do have the camera slightly... We're always at this side, except when she takes over. But the camera's in a slightly different spot, so the angle's a little different.
Yeah.
Roswell, New Mexico. Nameless School. Let's see here. The...
Clifford, Tony Fleming, Benjamin, Brett, Frank, Javier Estrada, Paul St. Marie, Jason Blair, Zafiel.
All right, here's a question. So, hold on. Some people are saying that we've switched positions. I've always been on the right, at least, or I've always been in this spot. Mm-hmm. And for me, it looks like we're in the same spots.
Yeah, it looks to me like we're in the same spots.
What's it look like for you all?
Maybe it's because they can see more of this, so they think this is what's on that side.
I don't know. Well, the other thing is
because, like, the artwork's always behind me.
Usually the camera's been sitting on a tripod in front of us, and instead we've got it actually dangling from the ceiling.
Yes, it's very high-tech.
Yes. And so then I have to flip the video, and I wonder if I flipped it, somehow it changed the output. Novsnick says my face looks a little slimmer. I'd like to think it's the camera. But, I don't know. I've been doing pretty good with the keto.
Paul St. Marie says that I'm in the driver's seat. So I think the image must be flipped for them, even though it doesn't look flipped to us. Sorry.
Let's see here.
Zafiel says we need to mirror the camera.
We have a mirrored image showing on the stream. Are you getting two images or just... now I gotta see it.
Well, where's my phone? Shouldn't I be able to see what they're saying?
Yeah, isn't that your job? The icon is backwards. It is backwards. That's weird.
What's backwards?
Look at where it says icon behind us.
That's weird.
But now I can actually point to stuff. How about that? Let's see here. Video capture. Transform.
Okay.
Flip horizontally. Boom.
Did that fix it?
Now I gotta move everything. Now the chat's on my face. Ta-da! Let's see, what can I do here? I gotta move the chat window. Let me unlock it. One moment. We'll be right back after this quick tech fix. And that means I gotta unlock the top banner. You people are very demanding.
Wow.
What?
It just like I was watching it and it flipped the image because you must have done something.
I flipped the script on them. There we go. How's that? Is that better? There we go. Wife is always on the right. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. How did I never notice this before? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway. So.
Fred Hill, thank you so much. He says another Tecton channel sponsor is Trail Recon.
That sounds cool.
Cool. Thank you so much. Cover your ears, folks. Ricky, cover your ears. Ding, ding,
D-Diz wants to know if you're rocking the Princess Leia vibe.
I'm wearing space buns. Jeff thinks this hairdo is ridiculous. It keeps it out of my hair, and I was trying to think of something cool to put in my hair. I don't know if you can see them. They're actually cranes that Eleanor's friend made.
Oh, they're origami cranes.
They're origami cranes, and then she did the art on them. So I pinned them in my hair. So, yeah. Anyways, I love it. Jeff is not a fan.
Benjamin asked if I ever tried the M12 drain snake. I have not. Sorry. The only one I've tried is like the basic ones where you can attach it, you can hand crank it, or you can attach it to a drill. I've never used any of the dedicated power ones. I know some people on here have, so if you have chimed in, Benjamin would like some feedback on that. Where's the best place to buy dado blades? Wow, that's a good question because dado blades are not, you don't see them as much anymore because people don't use table saws that way as much. That's more of a woodworking kind of thing. You see it with cabinetry, that kind of stuff as well. But in like job site and that kind of stuff, you don't see it. So you can get them at the big box stores. Probably Woodcrafters would be a good place. Honestly, the best place for the best buck is probably going to be like on Amazon. Diablo makes a decent pack of them. I know that. But there's some other ones out there you may want to look at.
Christina Marie says the hairstyle is so cute. So, obviously.
It is cute. Hey, Christina Marie, saw your new video, by the way. And I really like the thumbnail. The thumbnail is top notch. It's great. It's vibrant. Your face is right there. You got the good text. Good job. Jim Adams, hi from Bakersfield. And Matthew Bean, howdy y'all, it's fixed. And let's see here. Frank says it's right now. Mike says now we're just back to normal. Not complaining. It's just letting you know what we see. That's good.
What are you doing, Goofball?
What are you up to, Sicky?
Balloons. DIY kids. You should do this. You can make people 3 legs, 2 arms.
She's
I love you.
Well.
I love you, Princess, but you need to go lay down.
Go lay down.
Go on. She's got the beginnings of the flu coming on, so.
Yeah.
Yes, sandwich. It is weird because, in my recollection, I've always been on the other side, right?
I honestly don't remember.
Ah, well.
I'm super helpful.
Anyway.
So, yeah, I thought that you were on the other side. What do I know?
Well, let's see here.
RC Pop says, I can't hear you without seeing the bear.
A lot of people have that problem. Mm-hmm. Terry Raff is in the house. How's it going? And David asks, enjoy your videos. Question, have you heard anything Harbor Freight on the Icon toolboxes making the drawers deeper? Next question, where's the puppy? Puppy's in the house. And she'll probably come out later. The drawers deeper, you can actually order... Once you can't order it differently than it is configured, but you can order the drawers at almost cost. They're super cheap compared to what you'd expect compared to the price of the cabinet. But if you want to switch them out, they're totally modular. Now the smaller bank is not modular, is my understanding, but the larger bank is. The top drawer though is set because it's part of the structure thing of the cabinet.
So
yeah, and also, sorry, don't forget to type, as it says right there, at Dena Tools. That way it shows up as this. Where is it? It's right there, that orange kind of blob. And those are the only, we read those, we read super chats, we read messages from the members. We can't read everything because a lot of people are just talking back and forth amongst themselves, and if I have to read through everything, I'll miss a bunch. So, and I get behind as it is. It's all her fault.
No.
You were going to say.
Paul St. Marie says, Dado Blades, Woodcraft, Rockler, or Amazon. And then Steven said, we have Dado set at Menards. So
yeah,
people are
Menards.
answering the question.
I always forget about Menards because there isn't one out here. I used to live in Menards country. I wish I still did. Actually, I wish Menards was out here. I don't want to live back there. It's going to be hecka cold over in the Michigan area.
Yeah.
Minnesota just got snockered by that storm. So, Jay asked, "Did I see the new Slims, the new Milwaukee Stack Slim Box? You're talking about the one that looks like an ammo can? It looks cool. I'm glad to see them getting even more modular with that system and allowing like not full height or full width boxes, but now you can do all sorts of Lego-ness to it." Steve says their house has gotten sick as well.
I'm so sorry.
We're sorry.
I've heard a number of people say that they have gotten whatever cootie is going around as the repeat. And I also know a number of people, not locally, whose kids have actually been diagnosed with the legitimate flu.
Yeah.
So just take care of yourself, rest, take fluids. I know you know all this stuff, Stephen and daughter Fra, but I know it's the advice you would give us when we're sick, and we have one of our own already.
Somebody asked, does Red get into arguments with other bears about tools? And so Red's a North American tool bear, and honestly, most other kinds of bears, black bears, brown bears, because they're not really into tools so much, so they don't really talk about it. So he kind of just basically hangs out at Harbor Freight and Lowe's and Sears and argues with people there. So he usually wins those arguments, or he gets hungry and then he wins the argument.
Fred says Trail Recon. He's a 4x4 channel. He does a lot of do-it-yourself and Jeep builds. Go check him out.
Is he the one who left Bleep and Jeep? Grimute says, "Hey, Grimute." He says, "How's the family doing?" We're doing pretty good. The coffee mug. He said there's something about a coffee mug.
Wait,
is there a coffee mug? He said there's a coffee mug that reminds him of something from some skit.
I don't see a coffee. Maybe.
Look on your phone. There was something I saw earlier when I was setting up the stream about promoting my merchandise, and it would put it at the top or something. Anyway, Aaron's in the house. How's it going? Tomorrow morning will be 10 degrees. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Where?
When Daughter Raw tomorrow in Michigan, when he goes to work, it'll be 10 degrees.
Ew.
I think it's going to drop down to probably
I think you need one of these
the high 40s. Maybe low 50s tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a warm spell here. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's been pretty cold.
Yeah. Pretty warm. It's in the mid-60s today.
I'm talking about in the morning when people are walking at ungodly hours.
You think the mid-60s is warm?
No, the mid-60s is
or
not
you think it's cold?
We're not talking to him anymore. What I'm trying to say is like the 30s and 40s when it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm walking. Don't know. That's what's cold. You don't know cold.
Let's see here. Terry says, "Loved your video on DeWalt and Hercules. They just made Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight can make it cheaper." Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, this is why. Haha. That's the mug they're talking about.
Oh, it's the top of the chat. Yeah, that's what it did. I was wondering what it was doing.
Yep.
Oh, so that means I can do this. I can go to... So if you didn't see the mug, you can go over here. You can also get your... Where's the other one? The older style. There's that one. I thought there was an older style one I had up. Oh, here we go. This one. And then how do I...
Oh, yeah.
How do I... Oh, there I go. Pin merchandise. Bing!
So I think
there we go.
It.
I don't know. Let's see here.
Oh, look. Now it shows up there. It changed
there it is.
Awesome. Cool.
Strep's going around in Texas, Terry says. Yeah, I hate strep. I used to get strep all the time when I was younger. Marcus says, "What Harbor Freight do you recommend in Nevada? The one close to my house is too small." Well, I don't know all of Nevada. In Vegas, I like the one on the north side off of MLK. That's one of Crystal's the manager. She is a great, great person. Runs a tight store that's always clean and beautiful. I love going in that store. Let's see here. Bear One. Hey, Bear. And Bear here. My message might have slipped in by chat, but footage for tour, how would be the best to send it to you? File size limit, though email is kind of limiting.
Basically, how does he send us a big file?
Send me an email, and I'll give you a link to a folder on my Google Drive. You should just be able to upload it to that. Tony says, I thought I heard where Harbor Freight is going to start selling parts to repair the tools. They are. They start massively expanding the tools, the parts department. They already have, but right now you have to call to really get anything from them. They're going to have an online parts department as well, where you can go and you can find the parts. They've heard that the parts are a big issue. They're working on it, and they've already taken the first step on it.
Daughter of Ra, I heard what you said about you and Ricky getting shots, and Steven doesn't get one. Jeff used to be like that, but now he gets them.
Yeah, but I only get them because I have to, like, if I want to be involved in school stuff. They have this new policy that if you want to do anything at the schools, you have to have your flu shot.
Well, you also do it because of Griffin.
Yeah, that's true.
And I did see your message, Christina Marie. We are not going out on date night. I just felt like being pretty. It happens every once in a while.
We finally got to go out for a date lunch.
Mm-hmm.
We had coupons or gift certificates to a Brazilian steakhouse, which is keto heaven. Mm-hmm. And we both about ate ourselves into
Okay, here's the thing, though. We didn't really eat that much food. We didn't eat that much food.
Not compared to what we used to eat.
What it was the dessert.
I didn't have any dessert. That was all you.
Okay, apparently we're lying on Den of Jewels tonight about dessert.
Amelie asks, any suggestions for modifications for the Harbor Freight workbench table? Nabbed one yesterday, $59 for coupon. So there's two workbench tables. Are you talking about the blue one that kind of I call a tech bench to get the light above it? Or are you talking about the one that looks like the old school wood workbench with the clamp built into it? Mr. Spartacus, next month I'm ordering a toolbox finally, but still torn between Icon and Tool Vault. I'm leaning towards Tool Vault due to the cost. $5,500 for 84 by 30 with roller with hutch. Thoughts? So Toolbox makes some decent stuff. The question is, do you need a hutch? And honestly, as cool as a hutch may seem, once you have one, unless you are a full-time mechanic working in a shop where your tools might grow legs, there's no reason to get a hutch. The hutch is so you can have all your junk in there, and at the end of the day, you can close it, lock it, and walk away. It is way less convenient than having an open workbench. I'm 6'2", and I work this thing, and it's nice having it, but I would much rather have a big open lighted workbench. I've got one, and I prefer to use that over that. I store stuff in there. It's great for taking pictures and that kind of stuff. And, it
has its place.
Yeah, but I use it more as a secondary station. It's not where I like to do my work. So get whatever, works for you. There is a 20% off Icon coupon floating around, so I would take a look at that. Go over to Harbor Freight coupon database. He always has the latest coupons. But, going back and forth, I don't know. I guess my take on it is only get the hutch if you really need it. I will say this: the hutch on the Icon is a step above the hutch on the Tool Vault one. From what I've seen, they're really thin sheet metal, whereas this is a double wall and it's more integrated and stuff. Anyway, Steve says 10 degrees tomorrow morning. I'm taking some hand sanitizer tomorrow. Luckily, I thought about getting my driveway and van cleared off from snow today. I just have to warm it up. Oh, this sounds so much fun. Do you think Makita will make K-Cup coffee machines? Man, they should. That would be awesome. I might get one of those. I love the K-Cups. And I don't drink a lot of coffee. I go through kicks where if I find a good coffee... Anyway, that would be cool. I'd like to see that. Any idea if Icon is meeting Harbor Freight's sales expectations? No, Icon is not meeting their expectations. They're 4 times. They can barely keep up. It's the best product launch I think they've ever had. -20 in Ontario, Canada.
I just
Danos, I hope you find somebody to stay warm with tonight.
Yeah.
What brand tool is the top choice for you? Depends on what you're doing.
And who you are.
Yeah.
Like a tool that can be great for you. It's like firearms. Like a firearm that might fit you perfectly might not fit me perfectly. It won't. Our hands are totally different sizes.
And it also depends on what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
If if I'm building, a skyscraper, I'm going to use a totally different thing than if I'm building a tree house for the Cubs.
Right. So it depends on what you're going to do with it.
Yeah. I've got a lot of favorites. I'm not the kind of person who's like, I'm just one thing. And you'll hear me talking about that. Like, don't be a fanboy. Don't be like, this one brand can do it all, because they can't. They just can't. Chaka in the house.
What?
Showing his house done. Rabby is trash. Horrible, horrible trash. Rubbish even.
Okay, cover your ears, Ricky. Cover
So
your ears.
So saith the Chaka. So saith we all.
Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. I'm trying to not make everyone deaf tonight. Just for a change.
Paul tells me my coffee cup ad is top and center on the video page.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Steven said mid-60s, he's in shorts.
I am. I'm almost always in shorts. It's growing up in Iowa will do that to you. Let's see. Kirk says 24 here in Dun Canyon, Pennsylvania. Ooh, Pennsylvania. I've never really spent any time. I've driven through Pennsylvania a bunch. Never really stopped there.
Yeah, I've driven through it.
Beautiful country.
Excuse
Except
me.
for
Yes,
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's, that's so
Really?
beautiful.
Really?
Richard Scarlett asks, need to upgrade from my Porter cable, but no commitment to Hercules. It's hard to commit to Hercules right now. I love my Hercules stuff. I've got Hercules right here. I love it. I can't recommend it because there's just not enough of it. Until Harbor Freight shows a level of commitment, I can't recommend it.
Frank, burn.
What?
He says at the Den of Tools, it may be 10 degrees tomorrow, but we have Menards in Michigan.
Oh,
Harsh.
I do like Menards.
Yes.
You would totally love Menards. I would not
I'm
get you
sure.
out of Menards until we were broke.
I still spend all day in there, though. And did you see this? And did you see this?
DR Falcon says, you would be like that at Menards. I kid you not.
Yep.
Or what's the grocery store that's there? Also, Myers.
Yes. I would love to explore Myers. I like to go shopping. Like, when I go on vacation, what's exciting to me is going to the grocery store because the food is all different.
DR Falcon says, I must say the pop-up battery lantern that Harbor Freight sells for $4 works quite well. Don't look directly at it. It is stupidly bright.
Not the blue ones, right?
What's that?
Not the blue ones.
No, the one that pops up out of the...
Oh, yes. Yes, those are incredibly bright. Like, burn your retinas bright.
Kingsport Tool Review. Several Home Depot stores heavily stocked up on Milwaukee pack-out systems for Christmas, and then nobody bought them. Expect some big pack-out sales coming soon. Everyone was running big sales on the pack-out systems, and I think the online guys just managed to edge it out. They were like a few bucks cheaper, and they were throwing in some freebies, and they had free shipping, so that's probably why they didn't sell them. I would love to see a big sale on those.
Yeah. Daughter Froth, thank you. She says that I'm always beautiful.
You are. Paul Simery says, flu shots are massively better than the alternative. We're getting to the age where our systems can't deal with the nasties as well. I can't deal with the flu. I get sick every time I get a flu shot. I know, but I still do it. Amelie says, the tech bench with the light and the metal legs. Okay, so the first thing I built for that is I took 2 of the free magnets. The magnet strips that are about yay long. I took 2 of those, and I built a right angle shelf with a 45-degree bracket. Set the bracket about half an inch, the same width as the magnets, and then attach the magnets to those. So basically, think like the pop-up shelf that they make for the U.S. General carts where you can lift it up and oh my gosh.
And then obviously we have to have that long hair.
Right, it's got long hair too. I love you.
Come here, I want to see your forehead.
Go, patient zero. Go. She's just claiming
Why are
right
you
now.
just claiming? Go on.
Love you. Go be artistic.
So anyway, and then I can just take it and stick it right to the side, and it's heavy enough to hold most things. It's not something you're gonna bang on. It's a side shelf for I'm done with this tool. I need to put it over here out of the way, and it works great. Other thing I did was, being older, I need more light, so I took the light that came with it out, and I got one of the shop lights, the big $20 shop lights. Took the mounting brackets off. You have to open the side, get in there, and unscrew the little bolts come out, and then screwed in through those through the top, and was able to mount that up in there. It barely fits.
Up in there. Ricky's identifying colors. Did we say that already?
Oh, that's so cool.
Good job, bud.
Good for him.
Ricky, what color's up here? You see? What color is that?
Patrick says, I've been looking around for tool organizers, more specifically wrench organizers. Do you have any recommendations on where to go in different types? Wow, I don't, because I've tried and looked at so many types and I don't really care for them. And I like the ones like the Icon and Snap-on comes in their little plastic thing. I like that. They're not great on space.
Right, it's not a great use of
I know
space.
that there's a lot of different styles out there. There's a little magnetic ones, like the little, like look like little teeth, and you can change it and stuff. Man, somebody actually I've been thinking about doing like a 3D printing version of the one, like custom making for the wrenches I have, because I never find one that I actually like. So I can't recommend anything because I don't like anything.
Frank says, for do-it-yourself, he's a do-it-yourself guy. Would you recommend Makita or Bauer cordless tool lines, or maybe another? I currently don't have any cordless now.
For straight do-it-yourself, like I'm going to work around the house and stuff like that, I would recommend Bauer, Cobalt, or, sorry, Jaka, the higher-end Ryobi stuff. I like Makita. I like Makita a lot. And you can get some great deals on entry packages with Makita. But after that, you're paying, even they're more than you need. This is a professional level tool. It's a great tool, but it's overkill for the DIYer. It's my number one recommendation for pros. You can't go wrong with it. But if you can afford it, you're like, hey, I got extra money to spend, and I just want something to feel good about and nice. Sure, get the Makita. Otherwise, I just basically, like I say, like if you're in Harbor Freight all the time, get the Bauer. If you're in Lowe's all the time, get the Cobalt. If you're in Home Depot all the time, get the Ryobi. But don't get the cheap Ryobi. Get the nicer Ryobi. There's like 3 levels of Ryobi. They make 3 to 5 levels of every tool out there, so make sure you're getting the higher end stuff. Frank says, oh, you just read that. Sorry.
I think we are behind enough that Ricky is the person.
Yes, I got my chat message over
Okay.
here. Ricky says, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you covered Chaka. Let's see here. Let me see if we can get it. Major weakness in the house. I found out the hard way Pittsburgh through ratchet tag does not go all the way to the end of the comfort grip. Cheater bar broke comfort grip in half. Oh.
Did you see Terry? Woo. Did you see Terry's comment? Right above major weakness. Right up underneath. Yeah, underneath shotgun.
Oh, wow. Somehow I missed it. Rigid makes a tool pack out system that's cheaper than Milwaukee and DeWalt. I like it better and it's hold more. We've talked about that actually, and I highly recommend that Rigid system. It's not quite as modular as the Milwaukee or the DeWalt systems. Like it doesn't come down to the ultra thin ones, but it's a great system and it's like half the price. And in fact, when we talked about, I did a video last year talking about pack out systems, and that was the one I recommended. So I totally agree with you on that. Ralph Smith, you are enjoying Duncan's new projector because it sounds like I was having lots of fun with it. In fact, I hate to admit it, it's sitting on the kitchen counter because they've been using it to project on the room in the family room, and it's got that fabric top, and every time I walk by, I like the tactileness of it. Tactile. I have to run my little fingers over it and pet it. Let's see here. Mike Adams, when my dad built the garage, he used copper pipe to plumb air connections to all 4 walls. Getting lots of moisture when using it. Could the copper be the cause? Copper is a great conductor, which means that it's really easy to get for it to collect moisture in it. But you should be able to put a moisture trap on the end of it that should stop it. But I mean, guys do it with black iron too, and black iron's going to do it. I think maybe just live in an area there's lots of humidity, and you may have you checked for leaks just to be sure. Bauer is coming out with a K-cup machine. I would love to see that.
Thank you, Fred Hill. $199. Bing, 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 bing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Man, I would love it if they did that. Let's see here. K.O. Kendall, Of the U.S. General 4 or 5 drawer, which is the way to go? Is the 5 drawer worth an extra $40 difference? Just looking for an entry-level tool cart to clean up the garage. For the garage, I would say no. In fact, all the guys who are here every Sunday, they know this answer is coming. I'm not a fan of the tool carts unless you work in a shop. It's like the hutch I was just talking about. That top kind of bowl, that's an area for you to throw a bunch of tools, close the top, and lock it. But that means the top isn't usable. I like the carts that either have a solid top, like it's more money. It's $220, I think, when you get a coupon. But the U.S. General, just the bottom of the narrow 24-inch cabinet, just get that. And it's got a rubber mat on it, and it makes a great cart. The other thing is maybe you can pick up used some of the carts, something like, I'm not sure which one has it. Is it Matco or Mac? Maybe Sunex, I think, has one where the top opens in the middle and it like slides like that. So you can still have that area, that recessed area, but you still have the top working area. Anyway, go ahead.
Elkfist says, "Howdy, Mr. and Mrs. Bear. $4.99. Thank you so much." Ding, 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 ding.
Steven says, "Make a trip here to Grand Rapids and we can all go to Menards and then go across the street to Meyer." I would love to do that.
That would be super fun.
If we can get stuff together, I would love to do a trip. Just drive through the Midwest and take you guys up to Michigan, especially Western Michigan. I want to take you up to Saugatuck, up to South Haven, up to Holland. I love Western Michigan. Javier says, "Been having the flu for 4 days, but that didn't stop me from going to the dunes and beating my tires." Oh, a 6-hour jump.
No.
It's not a truck built for the dunes. Oh my gosh, that would suck. Oh. No, Nick, terribly cold, rolling through. High of only 42 tomorrow. Oh, only 42.
You're blind.
47. I am blind. I can't read today. Myers is also a Tecton stock. Yes, they are, Jim. Yes, they are. Richard Scarlett. Oh, every time I think of him, I think of that camera I want so badly that I would never use because it's way.
You just went.
Did I go past
where
it?
You were highlighted. Yes, you went past it.
See, I am just not firing on all cylinders. Oh, let's see here. Why do I have to create a channel? The comment says hi. When I started plumbing, Richard says, 25 years ago, I started with the old orange Chicago electric drill, and it lasted me 15 years. They do last. I always chuckle when people say, "Well, I'd never buy something from Harbor Freight because you never know when they're going to switch." I'm like, they had the Chicago electric for longer than you've been alive. Chris says, "I'm still pissed about Hercules battery price increase to 60%. I'm not pleased about it one bit. I have not, and you guys know, I have not covered for them. I've called them out on it. I said that was the wrong move. Paul says, "You want crazy grocery shopping? Go to Jungle Gyms in Fairfield, northwest of Cincy." Jungle Gyms. That sounds familiar. I've been to Jungle Gyms. I've been to Jungle Gyms, and man, I can't believe I forgot that place. Wow, that place is a trip. I can remember it was weird with the cart situation trying to get in there and stuff. And
I have to look it up now.
yeah, I totally.
To the internet.
Brad's workbench in the house.
Hey.
Hello, Brad. Let's see. We let just anybody in
Did
here,
the
don't we?
maintenance man? Is the maintenance man here?
Yeah, maintenance man's here too. Jason Jenkins. "I've been out of work with injuries from helping someone out of a conveyor belt, and now my employer laid me off. Try not to curtail memberships, but don't be mad if it happens." Oh, dude, no, do it.
Oh, man.
That's, no.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah, you and family comes first.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sucks. I'm really sorry. Talking about keeping prayers out, one of the mechanics boards I follow, somebody just posted today, it's cold and icy out there, and a customer screwed up, lost control, went through a bay door, hit one of the techs, broke both his legs.
Oh.
And he was nice enough to post a picture of it. I'm like, I don't need to see that.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hope Workman's Comp jumps in quick on that one.
Oh my gosh. Kingsport tool review. Yes, I did see your $1.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Ricky, start clapping. Ding, It used to make him cry. Now he claps.
All right, we're 35 minutes in. That means we need to take a second to stop and say thank you so much to Joe Smith and the Mod Squad here for being the moderators for the channel. They do this just to help out, keep the channel family friendly, answer questions that we can't get to, remind people they need to type in @DenTools, give people links to all sorts of stuff. They're amazing. They do so much to promote the channel and help the channel out. And I just want to say thank you so much. We couldn't do these live streams without your help.
Absolutely.
And if you like what they're doing for the channel, take a second, because most of them are also creators in their own right, except for Brad's Workbench. And
Daughter of Ra, who legitimately doesn't have a channel.
And anyway, as a way of saying thank you, pick one of them and go over to their channel and, watch one of the videos, give them a thumbs up, maybe consider subscribing, because we like to share the love and we believe a rising tide floats all boats. So let's get everyone up there, because we're trying to promote this online tool community. Other people have different opinions and they're allowed to be wrong. And we promote that. We promote that. So I hope that you take a chance and go check out some of these other channels. Also, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been who sponsors the videos, either through sharing the videos, doing likes, being a member of the channel, or supporting us through super chats. You guys are amazing, and it just always blows me away how much support you give us and the community here. And also, I want to also remind people that we started a new channel, also Den of Gadgets. Yeah. And there is a link in, I think, the latest video, maybe the video before that. Anyway, but you can also do search Den of Gadgets and the bear will pop up, so you know it's that one. There's 2 of them apparently. Pick the one with the bear. And we're going to be posting at least a video a week to that one, covering stuff that just isn't quite in theme to this channel. So, and I'm also I think I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff, because people ask me about how to do YouTube and how to set this up, or how should I focus. I might also be answering a lot of YouTube-y kind of questions in there as well. All right.
So, and I'm sorry.
You should be sorry.
I am not 100%. But if you have a channel, just make sure that you comment and put it in.
They can't put links in. Remember, they block links now.
Right. I knew that.
You can type in the name of your channel.
Yes.
Put it in like parentheses, name of the channel, and people can search for it and find it. So.
And I just think it's awesome that if we don't have an answer, that one of you guys is always willing to help out. And Terry, I have no idea how you got the octopus icon. That's awesome.
Let's see. Hold on just a second here. All right. Now, here's a tool test time for you. Anybody know what this is? See if people can guess what that is.
Maybe get it a little closer to the camera. It's a little hard to see any of the detail.
I'll show you the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of you will know exactly what it is. All right. So, where we were. Nightly Nerds is in the house. How's it going, man? I haven't gotten sick in almost 2 years. My immune system is too strong. Yeah, he's been killing it with keto. If you want to ask somebody about how to be successful with keto, that man is a keto god. All right, so I just completely lost where I was.
You highlighted it before you scrolled down.
Am I that far behind?
Yes.
No.
No. Scroll down.
You don't know how to do this.
Well, you're driving. That's the first problem.
Why don't you answer some questions while I'm trying to figure out where I left off?
All right. So, Christina Marie says, Mama Bear is running the new channel. Oh, that was a question. No, I'm not running it, but definitely it's both of us in there. And we also have our other channel, Geek Health, that we are trying to be better with.
Amos says, howdy, and how are you doing this evening? We're doing pretty good, actually. And let's see here. Chris asks, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Bear, what do you think of Icon's plans for those of us that have mid-level Snap-on boxes to make the switch to Icon? I'm paying for my 55-inch Classic, but I want Icon. Man, I wouldn't switch. You know, they're great boxes, but I don't know why somebody would sell it. I mean, that's a lot of money. Honestly, unless you have a specific need for a box like this, I think they're overkill. I think they're window dressing for the most part. I think there's a lot less expensive boxes like the U.S. General stuff that can do most of the work that you're going to do. That said, if you're already invested in the Icon, don't waste money trying to switch over just because it's new and cool and stuff. Save your money, invest in yourself, put money in your 401k. Especially if you're a young mechanic, you need to pay yourself. Those are things to buy once you're in your late 30s or 40s and you've been doing it a while.
Hey, Sonic said that's for a JBC soldering station, if I'm not mistaken. High five.
Wow, I thought somebody might get
correct.
soldering tip. They did. Yes,
five.
because we have in-house that we're going to be playing with a JBC soldering station.
Okay, I'm just saying I'm feeling a little scared right now because he said we're going to be playing with that.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
I know. I just have children, so I'm envisioning.
Oh, you think that's scary? You think that's scary? Hold on. I got to show you guys this thing. So they also sent me this. Hold that.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they did not send us this.
Plug this in.
Okay, is it going to, like, zap me? Am I going to go poof?
Okay.
What is that?
So everyone's seen, like, you're soldering, you've got either the sponge or you got the little thing of what do you call it? Scrubbies, the steel, we're like copper scrubbies. What do you call those things? Steel wool. The
Yeah.
little thing of steel wool or whatnot. We got this. Instead of using that, there's 2 brushed rollers in here. Let me show you.
Oh, cool.
And
Sorry,
the idea,
light's kind of bright.
yeah. So the point with this is, you lose a lot of when you go to the sponge or you go into the steel. You lose a lot of heat. So what's a better way to get that done fast? There's a motion sensor, motion sensor in here. And when you come in here, it spins up, and you just quickly, and your tip's clean. Don't. I know it's tempting. Don't stick your finger in there. You will have a bad day. Very, very bad day. You better unplug that before you accidentally stick your finger in there.
I will, because I was literally sitting here going, just stick your finger in there. Yeah. So I have no self-preservation whatsoever.
Not a drop.
No. Neither do you.
So Echo asked, how can you tell which level of Ryobi you're buying? You can tell by how much it looks like a real tool versus a one of those Playco toys with, you know, like the big super long one for the drill. That's going to be, you know, especially if it's brushless, it's going to be one of the higher end Ryobis. Basically, it's going to cost more.
Sonic said, wow, that's cool. I know I'm reading it out of order.
That's okay. Toolhead, I got the Cobalt 40 volt string trimmer for $52 with battery and charger. How did you get that? That's a great deal. Dwayne asked, I'm looking for a tray cart. Harbor Freight has 3. Which one would you recommend? I like the one with the drawer, the lockable drawer. I just like having that option on there. It's also because it's a little more rigid. One thing you want to do is tighten everything down, and then after a month or 2, you just go back and retighten everything. Terry says they now have 6 different size even parts bins. Wow. I'll have to go back and look and see what they've expanded it. So, Steve says Ricky claps when you ring the bell.
Yes, that's what I was telling him to clap.
Richard says, is Bauer going to come out with a cordless multi-tool and a small recip like the Milwaukee hacksaw? Don't know about the recip. I believe it's yes on the multi-tool, but it won't be until later this year, early next year. Paul St. Mary, copper is going to get rid of heat faster, and that is the cooling of compressed air that gives you condensation.
Didn't somebody say something about draining?
Yeah, you got to have drain lines in there.
Well, no, they were saying to make sure that you do drain it.
Yes.
If you aren't currently.
And there's some videos out there that show using copper pipe to make a radiator for your compressor that cools off the air and dries it out quicker. That's an interesting idea. And Jonathan says, got to go toboggan in Michigan tomorrow or during the winter with kids who enjoy it. We we get to do that usually in the spring up in Montana when we head up there. Let's see here. Craig says, gotta hit the tourist trap in UP. I don't know if the Yoopers are still doing shows. Do they have the Yoopers doing shows up there?
Wow.
That would be interesting. Let's see here. DR Falcon. But they got rid of the old Chicago Electric battery powered tools. My store still has a few kicking around, but no batteries. Yeah, batteries are next to impossible to find. I've looked for third-party ones. I haven't found, but you know what you can do is you can just rebuild it. You can buy NiCad cells and rebuild it. Let's see here. Javier says, do you see Stanley Black & Decker going after Harbor Freight for the Hercules drill design? No, I think those guys got better things to do.
Andy Prairie Dog is on his lunch break and he lost his hot dog. It rolled off the bun and the plate.
Oh,
I'm a big
double
fan.
whammy.
Like, unless you're working at like a plutonium plant, maybe just rinse it off. And
5-second rule.
Yeah, you're helping your immune system.
You are.
That's right.
Major weakness. Does Tecton have pass-through ratchets? I'd like to upgrade from my current Pittsburgh. You know, I don't know. They have so much. I got into a deep, oh man, it's such a rabbit hole. One of the guys over on the forum, if you go to dentatools.com, we have a forum over there, and he was asking if anybody knew somebody who did a metric socket set, shallows and deep, that did 6 to 24 with no skips. That was his requirements. 6 to 24, metric, no skip, shallow and deep. And Tecton was the only one who did it for, I think, under $300. It was insane. I could not believe it.
The consensus is to still eat it.
Is to what?
Still eat it.
Yeah.
Somebody else said,
It's
doggone it.
It's a hot dog. They probably swept it off the floor to make it anyway. So,
Yep.
Don't read Concrete Jungle if you don't want to ever eat. If you ever want to eat a hot dog again. Let's see here.
Ooh, that one.
Terry with the octopus. That's pretty cool.
I know. I
didn't know you could do that.
Cool.
Hold. Wait. I'm trying to do something here. Ray's Win says, why do you like crappy tools so much? Such a waste of money, anything from Harbor Freight. Well, that's spoken by somebody who's never really tried anything other than the cheapest tools that they sell. You can do that with any company. Go in, buy the crappiest tools they sell, and then rate the entire company based on that. It's probably, I would guess, never even used Harbor Freight tools. So
Right.
if you've been in Harbor Freight, you know they sell multiple different levels, and you're just trying to ignore. I don't know why people get off trying to be like that. I guess it makes them feel special. It just means you're a sucker to marketing. Yeah, because Harbor Freight gets the drills from the same. Like the whole thing with the Snap-on suing Harbor Freight over the jacks, and then they had to retract the lawsuit when Harbor Freight was like, but we get it from the same factory in China that you do. Oh, sorry about that.
Then you go, oh, snap.
Yeah. And let's see here. Grizz says, big thumbs up on the Den of Gadgets. Hey, Grizz, I'm just going to say, watch out with the icons. Remember the old, whatchamacallit, YouTubes don't like it when you use too many of the same.
We love it.
Yeah, emotes.
But we would really hate it if they did.
We don't want them to block
Yeah.
you. Dear Freckles, I love the Bauer line from Harbor Freight. It constantly surprises me. I keep thinking it's going to be this cheap line of tools, and it just, for like DIYers, home users, that kind of stuff, it's a great line of tools. Oh, let's see here. Lewis did know it was a Sonic. A couple people, Sonic knew it. Lewis knew it was a soldering iron tip, but only one person knew that it was the GBC. That was pretty good. Donna Russ says, well, it was fun playing with colors with Ricky. Amelie says, I might do tool videos someday, but for now, I'm a 37-year-old playing with Nerf. Hey,
whatever floats your boat.
I got Cubs. We played with Nerf. We did a Nerf battle for one of the Cubs, the older Cubs' birthday about 4 or 5 years ago. And we had, it must have been 20 kids there.
Yeah, it was super fun.
And we went to a park and there was a hill. And I had all the kids take single shot, or like where you had to pump each time, and go down to the bottom of the hill. And the adults, like 6 or 7 of us, had fully auto Nerf blasters and sat at the top of the hill and just rained hot Nerf death down on them.
And I also have to say, from a parent standpoint, it is, when you think about birthday parties and you're like, $450 to do it at Chuck E. Cheese or something ridiculous. Just take like a teeny tiny portion of that and just buy extra. We call them darts. We don't call them bullets, but the
darts, Nerf darts.
The Nerf darts. Just buy a bunch of extra ones because they're not all going to come back. Let's be real. They're going to get lost in a bush. You're never going to see it again. But we had the kids who had Nerf, their own Nerf guns, bring them. We made sure everybody put their name on there so they got it back.
But they all used our darts.
And then nobody had hurt feelings that, something went missing or whatever. And then it was a picnic. It was outside. So we had like a food and a cake, and it was great.
Grab a couple pizzas from Costco and you're set.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, my opinion about birthday parties, parents stress out about them. As long as there's food and cake.
You stress out about them. I don't really, doesn't bother me. Princess is behind you. Mike says, what we hold up was what my dad used to call layover to catch meddlers. The Fred says, help, having trouble presenting AM FM channels on my Bauer radio.
I'll be back.
How do you... Is she okay?
Yeah, I'm just going to go be mom.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to leave my jacket. You're not going to wear it, right?
No, totally not.
Uh-huh.
I want to live. Fred, email me, red@denoftools.com. We need to figure out where you keep having these problems with the radio. We got to figure out what's going on. Did you lift the antenna up? Grimmy, think it's a Snap-off fanboy. Yeah, these people who've bought into this marketing of, you get what you pay for and you got to spend to earn and this kind of stuff. Or these tools make me money. Like, people have been hundreds, thousands of mechanics made livings, careers with Craftsman. They didn't have to buy Snap-on. It just, and then they get butthurt when somebody says, well, you could have spent 1/10 that. And, I did a video on how Snap-on's a $1 million mistake because, especially when you're young, a dollar spent by a 20-year-old is worth $100 more than a dollar spent by me because of what he can do by putting it into 401k with compound interest. That dollar is going to grow and create other dollars and more dollars and more dollars. And if instead of buying Snap-on, you bought budget value tools, not cheap tools, value tools. And you gotta do some research. You gotta do some work. Sorry, you can't just be like, I'm just gonna buy it off the truck and make yourself feel good about it. You go out, you do the research, you find who makes the best tools at the best value. You buy those, and then you spend the same amount of money, but you take the difference and you put it in a 401k. And by the time you're my age, you got $1 million in your 401k. And when you retire, you don't have to worry about how you're going to live and what you're going to do. So, let's see here. Frank says, I have seen all the Gadgets posts. Thank you so much. Javier says, what happened to Agent Deep Freight? Did Red fire him? No, I think there was a pogrom at Harbor Freight against talking to me. I have not heard a squawk in months from any of. Remember, Agent Deep Freight is a pseudonym for all of my insider contacts who would send me information from Harbor Freight. And Harbor Freight came down and was like, you can't be sending him stuff. And if we find out you do, you're going to get fired. And I understand that's the way corporate, I mean, they're trade secrets. They don't want them out before they want them to release, especially the marketing wanks over there who are morons. I love Harbor Freight, but your marketing department, I'm going to say it right now, your entire marketing department, morons. Treating us all like you're selling, sea monkeys and stuff. We're going out of business. Clearance, everything must go. We'll sell you the whole wrench, but you only need the edge. Oh, it's like it's 1970, and we're selling, bottles of Sex Panther. It works 66% of the time, or 60% of the time, it works all the time. Anyway, Barbecue 76, $5. I'm back again. Was playing with one of my cubs, but I missed about 30 minutes of your stream. Can you hurry up and tell me everything I missed? $5. There we go. Thank you so much, sir. You missed me just rambling pretty much. Let me see if I can play a game of catch up here. We're gonna go quick speed read here through. Let's see here. Okay, we read that. Christina, so your new moderators, do they hold or not approve of certain comments? We try to keep everything family friendly, and they do get a little overzealous. I don't mind negative comments. I don't, but it's a family friendly channel. If you have to curse to make your comment, it's not welcome here. If you can say what you want to say in a respectable manner, if you say like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you, I don't agree with you, I think what you're saying is stupid, that's fine. You're allowed to say it. I just warn you that I have facts and actually like do research on this stuff, and besides just like somebody told me something and I just repeated it. And let's see here. I say that because I get so many guys they're like, so-and-so told me this, and so I'm going to spread it as if it were fact. That's a whole like rumor thing going on with, well, DeWalt is suing so-and-so. Seriously, somebody told me that their aunt worked in the copyright office and that she knew that that they were getting sued because of patent infringement. And I'm like, you're totally lying. Because, or your aunt is lying to you, because that's not... Nobody, when they sue them, they don't go to the patent office and notify the patent office that, hey, there's a lawsuit. The patent office doesn't give a rat's behind about what's going on. That's the courts. I know, because for 20 years I ran a company that dealt almost exclusively with intellectual property. I know, and I'm an author. I know all about copyright. I know all about patents and trademarks. Oh my gosh. Robert says, if you need a lot of tool storage, look at buying 2 of the smaller boxes with short drawers and more overall space for less money. You're definitely right. You're going to get less money per square foot on something like that. Mike says, my dad would say, okay, I read that one. How did I miss that before? Ray's Win says, my toolbox was made in Iowa. Your tool cabinet was made in China. Big difference, but I'm from Iowa. I love Iowa. Your toolbox was made by robots made in China. That were shipped to the U.S. and made in the U.S. Because I actually understand how the manufacturing process works. And on top of it, the people that do work there get paid barely more, if any, than the people who work at Walmart. You're not supporting, union workers and, tradesmen and stuff like that. You're supporting essentially another Walmart. And they hire less people than the Walmart. And on top of it, if you knew anything about global economics, by sending the inexpensive work overseas, it allows that company to bring more money back here to spend more money on jobs here. Basic economics, but you'd have to pick up a book and read something to understand it. Let's see. Robert says, we just read that one. I hate the way the chat system around here just jumps around on me. I wish, Harbor Freight, I wish YouTube would fix that. And Rodney says, it's official, 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl 54 in 2 weeks. It's also official, I won't be watching any of it because I don't care about either of those teams. Chris says, Dennet Tools, the reason I want to switch is because I need more room for my tools. I'm a full-time tech and turning master this year. Congratulations. I need more room, and Icon is much cheaper, but I also like it. Well, if that's the case, if you're looking to expand, that's different. It sounded before like you were like, I've got this one, it works just fine. I want to trade to the exact thing in a different brand. In that case, if you're a master tech, your career in this, you got enough tools to justify a full line bench. I totally get it. And that, I would go over to Harbor Freight coupon database, and there should be a 20% off coupon for Icon floating around over there. If you can't find it, email me and I'll see what I can do about finding one for you. Let's see here. I do highly recommend the green with the black trim. It was nice of them to send this to me. I so wanted the blue one Because I have U.S. General in blue. I wanted it to match. And then I saw the green with the black trim at SEMA, and I'm like, oh, man, I'd kill for that. Let's see here. Look at that overpriced icon tool in the back. Oh, look at that overpriced, which you have no idea about pricing apparently because it's half the price of a Snap-on. And I always love the guys who are like, I only paid blah, blah, blah for my Snap-on. Yeah, you know somebody who knows. I love your big fish stories. Andy Prairie Dog, how's it going? Hi, good evening. I'm on my lunch and just lost my hot dog. Oh, that's the one we read before.
Yeah.
Moment of silence for Andy's hot dog. All right.
Appreciate
Toolhead found it on BrickSeek for $52. 2 stores in 64. The rest. I was just on BrickSeek. How did I miss that? Steve says they still have the Youpers tourist traps. The Youpers.
Yes, I saw that.
I've never been to the UP. I would love to go.
Oh, wait. Barbecue 76. $5. I'm back again. I was playing with one of my cubs, but I missed about 30 minutes of your stream.
We already did that.
Did you ring the bell?
Everything.
Well, I'm going to ring it anyway.
Yeah, I knew you were going to. I knew she was going to do it.
I just had to.
Let's see here. Doggone it. And DR Freckles says, my Snap-on box is around 50 years old, but the slides and locks fell apart 35 years ago.
Hang on. FDJ says, Den of Tools. Yesterday I found 2 sites as the Den of Gadgets. Am I missing something? Am I doing something wrong?
No.
No, there are 2. The one with the bear is us. There's another one. It's not exactly the same. Right?
No, there's somebody else started the Den of Gadgets. They did it about a year ago. They have a handful of videos, and then they've never posted since. So it's a dead channel.
I thought it was something similar.
No, but if you do the search, mine comes up showing the bear, and the other one has some graphic.
Right.
The Richard Elliott says he thinks Capri has one too. You know, I've been talking to Capri and trying to get them to work with us. They're kind of maxed out as far as who they're talking to and stuff. If you have a product that you want to work with the channel, feel free to reach out to them and tell them, because it's a lot more coming from you saying, hey, this is my favorite YouTuber. I'd love to see him demo your products. That tells them, hey, here's somebody who wants to buy our products, and if we work with them, we'll get our product in front of them, and that'll reach that community. For me, it just sounds like they get thousands of YouTubers. And yes, usually at some point they get to it and they're like, oh, he's got 70-some thousand or almost 70,000 subscribers. So then they're like, okay, we're going to pay attention to this guy. But it can take a long time otherwise. And they really like it better when the viewers comment. Hey, what craftsman buys a toolbox? Get the sheeting and weld it up yourself. Speaking of which, apparently Craftsman is finally getting, Sears is finally getting some toolboxes in, just in time for them to go out of business. They're closing the Sears here. They've closed all the other Sears, 2 million people in Vegas. Closing the Sears, the last one, and they just spent probably $4 or $5 million refurbishing it. And now they're going to close it. Man, Fast Eddie there. He does a number on it. Fred says, well, in the Air Force, I was stationed for 8 weeks in good old Uperland, went to Key Sawyer Air Force Base. And Rich Scar says, well said, Red. And Javier says, how do I become a moderator? You just show up a bunch. Show up to a bunch of live streams, hang out, and be part of the community. And at some point, if you comment and you're part of the community and you've been around for a long time, then that's how you become a moderator. Let's see here. Louis Burmeister, welcome to the club. Louis just became a member.
Thank you. Welcome.
Fill it up.
And is that a cute little puppers or what?
That was loud. That is cute. I like that.
Sorry.
DR Freckles is my dealer charge for delivery of box. Yeah, that's the other thing I get with these people who deal with dealers. Dealers are independent. They're completely different. And they're like, well, my dealer's great, blah, 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 blah. I got for everyone who says, like, my dealer's great. He delivered the box for free. He helps me with this. He comes and he makes me breakfast. And, he does everything else. I got 10 guys who are like, as soon as I got my whole loadout, he stopped coming. And I call him and say, I need, this tool replaced. He's like, I don't have it on the truck. Call corporate and you can ship it to them. As soon as you're done buying, they're done talking to you. Okay, we talked about that one. Terry says, what did the frog with gas say? Rip it, Terry.
Nice.
Oh, and they say I got bad jokes. Humley says, thanks for saying blaster and darts. There's a big group in Reno. Yeah, I'm firearms instructor. 2A is a big thing in our family. Yeah. And, I've taught the kids. You'll see the kids. They'll work a room. They'll slice the pie. But, man, fingers off the trigger. In fact, we had the oldest cub had a friend over this weekend to do some airsoft target shooting in the backyard. And, man, I think I put the fear of God into him because as soon as he came in, I'm like, all right, let me see what you brought. Took it, cleared it, checked it, handed it back to him. Okay, here's the rules. Fingers off the trigger. Don't point anything unless you intend to shoot it. Always assume that it's loaded. Always wear eye protection. You guys don't fire unless, an adult is around and that we've approved. You don't shoot anything and went through the whole thing. He's like, yeah, yes, sir. And my older son's like, yep. That's what happens here. Oh, let's see here. Major weakness. Any ideas when Icon 3/8 flex ratchets will be back in stock? I think it's going to be real soon. I could have even sworn that I saw something on the website about them. So let's see here. And Elkvis. Lots of mechanics have made with lots of money with Craftsman. Craftsman hand tools used to be a lot better. They did. But that only changed in the last handful of years. So I'm saying people for decades, like longer than I've been alive, and I'm about to be 51, people for decades were making, great careers with Craftsman. The reason you have highly chromed tools, like everyone talks about, like Snap-on's got the best chrome, they're so shiny. They didn't used to be chrome. It was Craftsman who started the whole chrome trend, and Snap-on copied them. So these people who have no idea of history, they know nothing about these tool businesses or where they came from or how they got here, or the technology behind it, but they want to spout all sorts of stuff like they know everything that's going on. It's freaking hilarious. Let's see here. Brett says, do you know of anyone other than Snap-on or Eastwood car tools that have air tools called a crud thug? Well, I've never heard that term. That's a brand. Let me see if that's a more generic thing that I might know about. And okay, that's this. Did you say Craftsman? Because Craftsman makes.
He said Snap-on or Eastwood. He didn't say.
Yeah, Craftsman, and they make it under Craftsman and they make it under Porter Cable. The Craftsman one is better. In fact, I just read an article about it. The company that makes it is in the U.S., actually. He jokes that he's the smallest power tool company in the world. And so he invented that kind of tool. He makes it, and he said when Stanley Black & Decker changed from Porter Cable, putting the emphasis on Craftsman made him upgrade it, put in a stronger motor, better gears and stuff. Let me see if I can find what it's... They call it. It's slightly different, but it's essentially the same thing. Go ahead and.
Paul St. Marie, $5. He says, "Fast Eddie. Geez, that loser should be cleaning toilets in the hottest, smelliest hole imaginable."
Oh yeah.
So cover your ears. Bing, 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 bing.
If I could spell grinder. That is not it. Oh man, what is it called? I just saw it too, man. It's I think they call it a refinisher. Okay, the Porter Cable one is called the PXRA 2676, and where's the Craftsman? I wonder, maybe the Craftsman version isn't out yet. But Now, this is showing it with sandpaper, but I know that they also sell it with... Yeah, there you can get a bristle.
Down there.
You can get a steel bristle, or you can get like a Brillo pad. So, I realize it's not exactly the same, but I'm trying to give you options. So there's a link. Oh, wait, plus the stupid link. Oh, I know why. The links are too big for the thing.
Can you do the thing where you shorten it?
Bitly?
No, I thought it was called something else.
Yes, that's why you're not allowed to do it.
Will said, no one likes you. Will says Princess
My
Leia in
beard
the house.
hair is going in my ear.
You know why?
Oh, karma. I got your karma. I'm running over with my dogma.
Yeah,
Or
it's
actually,
okay.
other way around. Never mind.
You're just jealous of my hair. On the top of my head.
Let's see here. Okay, where were we? I would imagine Harbor Freight would love you. They love and hate me. Parts of Harbor Freight, I'll tell you what, the guys who make the tools, who design the tools, all that kind of stuff, they like me. They appreciate me. Corporate, not so much. Now, the upper end corporate loves the heck out of me because they know that I get the truth out there about a lot of tools and that more people buy Harbor Freight because of me. The marketing department, I think, wants to set me on fire. So it's a mutual, lighting of fires there. Just who's going to get the match lit first. That's going to be me. And speaking of getting matches lit, do a search for Eddie Lampere. I don't know if you might have to do Fast Eddie. I think it's hilarious because if you do Fast Eddie Lampere, or at least Eddie Lampere, I did it before, and on the first page of images under Google Images, one of my thumbnails comes up, and I know that's got to be driving him nuts because he's such a vain little bugger. Let's see here.
There's a discussion about temperature swings. Where was that? Was that Boston?
Boston.
That went from 74 to -1.
I don't know. Anyway, Brett, check out that link. Let me know if that's going to work for what you're looking for. Mike says, have you ever heard of a website called Wish? My mother's ordered a wood carving set. Yeah,
Yes.
You never know what you're going to get from Wish.
Yeah, it could be amazing, or it could be losing your fingers.
Yeah.
For tools.
Like, I saw one where a guy was ordering laptops, and they sent, like, little stress balls instead. Just makes no sense. Oh, let's see here. La-di-da. It jumped on me again. Hold on.
It's okay.
There we go. There we go. So, Grizz says, going against the bear is a bad idea. I can only imagine how many folks spent money at Harbor Freight because of Red. And I'm not sponsored. They don't pay me.
Nope.
Yeah. People are like, but they sent you that workbench behind you. Yes. But I'm retired. It's not like I make money with that workbench. It sits there. It makes a nice backdrop. It's probably the most expensive backdrop on YouTube. Let's put that out there. See if anybody can find a more expensive backdrop that people use for streaming every day. Ronald says you're not allowed to buy ammo in California anymore without background check. Oh my God. I can't even talk about California. I'm so glad I'm out of that state. You guys, I don't want to talk about politics. I try to stay away from politics.
Nope.
You got to look up who's the district attorney in San Francisco. The city's going to burn.
Honey, moving on.
Sonic says, it seems like rumor drama happens in all the industries, a reflection of society with bad influences. Yes. Yeah, it is. Where I grew up, you didn't talk about other people like that. That was just, it wasn't done. At least, and this is going to sound really sexist, at least when I say that, proper men, didn't spread drama. And then I get involved with the online tool community, and it's like a bunch of old biddies like, did you know that? He said, oh my gosh. It's just like, where are the men these days? They're all here, hanging out at the Den of Tools. I'll get off my soapbox. I live on the soapbox. Grizz says, oh no, Mr. Bill, Mrs. Bear has been replaced by a half-open box. Oh, there's a box behind you.
I forgot about
that. That's a bunch of my old cables and stuff. I was going through for some tech stuff. I need to move that.
Yeah.
When did Red get his first toolbox? Well, here's what you got to realize. I was a carpenter, and then I was low voltage, so I didn't have like mechanics kind of toolboxes for quite some time. And I've always been actually I like having a shop, like a full-size shop, and having a place for everything where it's easily accessible and you can see the tool. I don't like having drawers. Stuff like this is for people who are in places where things are going to go missing. It's so you can lock it up. That's where that's designed for. But also if you're in a place where you have lots of tiny tools that you access all the time, which for a lot of others isn't really the case. So I didn't get a cabinet until probably 5 or 6 years ago, and and then I switched up a few times. So I don't know. It's not the way I learned to work with tools. I do use it. I use it so that I can, in a year's time, I'm going to come back and be like, here's a year's worth of use, and here's what I think of it. But it's not my favorite way of doing things. But I don't have to worry about other people coming in and stealing my tools, except for my children. Griffin came out with one of my screwdrivers the other day and almost lit him on fire.
He was legitimately trying to fix something.
He was trying to fix something, but he didn't ask. Jim Haynes, Waterloo toolboxes are now made in Missouri. They used to be made in Waterloo, Iowa, but no more for quite a while. David Hyde says, been a mechanic for 30 plus years. I have all brands of tools. There are certain tools that you want the best, like impact flex sockets. David, I will totally agree with you. There are, but there are very few where you have to buy top of the line, and quite often there are people who make just as good a tool for significantly less. One of their one of the top tier competitors will do that. And if you watch my video on, Snap-on's $1 million mistake, I don't say never buy Snap-on. I say reduce it to just that handful of tools that you have to get from them. And then I don't say go to Harbor Freight for everything else. I say go to Tecton, go to Gray Pneumatic, go to Carlisle. There's Capri, Sunex. There's jump around. Don't be like narrow focus. Get the best of breed at the best value in these different areas, and you can end up saving probably 80% of what you would normally spend.
Hang on.
Insalem says, hello there. What are we waiting on? JBJ Beddom 1, do you know of a proper deadlifting trainer in the Vegas area? I do not. No.
Sorry. Maybe somebody else does.
Deadlifting?
Yeah.
No.
And then somebody else, Andrew says, I want a Milwaukee heated jacket, but I can't decide on which one. So there's two, correct?
Yes, there is a channel. What's the name of the channel? The guy who does the As Seen on TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of his channel?
I can't think of it. Let me see if I can do that.
All right, we got a friend, a guy we know. He's got another YouTube channel here. It's As Seen on TV stuff. He's got huge channels, like 300,000 subscribers. He's got a workout guy that he's worked with, and they're here in Vegas, so he might know somebody. Futon says, joining late due to the game. Have my boys, Otto and August, here. No school tomorrow. They don't believe me. You're the tool bear. Of course I'm the tool bear. Wow. No. Tool bear's got the weekend off. Just me, Jeff, and Jesse.
Yep.
Red doesn't work on the weekends or holidays. He works like bank hours. He's posh like that. Chris says, thanks for all the advice. Appreciated blessings, Mr. and Mrs. Bear, the Cubs as well. Thank you so much, sir. And Skinny D, greetings from Renton, Washington, Boeing. I use the Pittsburgh Pro composite ratchet and love it. If it slips or drops, it doesn't leave a tool mark. The composite one, I gotta say, it's pretty comfy to use. Ray says, it's all the Chinese stuff. Man, watch the language. Do you smell it when you walk into Harbor Freight? It gives me, that's the recycled plastic. They use recycled plastic. So, sorry if it's, offensive to you. The newer stores aren't nearly as bad. There's a comic music group called the Youpers. And let's see here. Bear One says, hey, did you grab a line with the drill hog yet? No, not yet. Ronnie says, okay, now my full attention, 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl for... No. Levi Stadium, I used to work right down next to that stadium. What a pain in the royal wazoo when they would have a game down there. Just try to get out. I wouldn't be able to leave until like midnight. Joe Smith, hey everyone, feel free to say you don't like something. Please give a reason you say it more legit. Yeah, otherwise you're just a troll. Either have a cohesive argument or you're just a troll.
I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm still trying to look this person up.
Paul St. Marie, oh yes, you should get a hold of some Drill Hog Montana products. I have a set of the Montana Brad point bits, and they're excellent. I'll have to take a look at them. Daughter Ross says, yes, us mods have fun playing with members. Right now we're debating broomstick versus vacuum for riding in the air. Broomstick's so old school. You got to go with the vacuum. I like the Dysons. I think they handle better. Matt says, good evening, Tool Bear family. Kirk says, I still have my first and second Craftsman toolbox from the 80s, Husky from 18 years ago, and a couple military cabinets. The old Craftsman cabinets were fantastic. If you guys saw, I did a tour of a gunsmith last year, and he had a bunch of the old Craftsman, the top boxes he used as parts trays and stuff. Those things were old as snot and still holding up just fine. Let's see here.
I'm not.
Past the Spider. I got to read this. There's also for folks like me who can easily rewind motors, replace components, and would otherwise be using $10 eBay drills for years because of self-maintenance and non-standard modded internals. Which is why I always, when people say, well, if it's not brushless, I'm not buying it. And it just makes me roll my eyes. I'm like, because if you're a tool guy, unless you have a specific need that says this tool must be brushless, why would you not want brush? If you're a real tool guy, you work on your own tools. And yes.
I love you. Just giving you a hug.
Thank you. Look up like ice tray comparisons. That was like one of the ones he did that got a lot of hits on. I can never remember the name of his channel for some reason. Let's see here, where was I? Leonard says, I kind of owe you an apology. It was brought to my attention that the reason I am down on cheap power tools is I expect a certain performance from my tools, and cheap tools fall short. A tool is what it is, and there's always the right tool for the job. If you go to Harbor Freight, you buy the cheapest level power tools. Freaking reviews. That's it. Hold on.
Yeah.
You buy the cheapest level tool there. I mean, that's how Harbor Freight got started. They were the place to go to if I just need this tool just to get this one job done, or I can't afford anything else, and they would get you through it. And then they came out with the mid-level tools, and then they came out with higher level tools. And we did, look at the box wrench combo thing I did. We did tool reviews on that. And who won that? Husky. A $2 Husky wrench did just as good, performed just as well as a Snap-on. And I'm not the only person who's done this wrench. Go check out Flat Rate Master. He ran into the same thing. He's a full-time mechanic. Everyone's like, well, he's going to prove you wrong. It didn't happen. He totally agreed with me. Freaking Reviews is the guy I was talking about. He's got a channel here in Vegas. He's got a buddy who he does workout stuff with. If you go over to his channel, say hey, the Bear for Dead Tools said you might be able to recommend a good trainer like that. He might have a chance of helping you out.
Outer Space Vodka.
Sounds heavenly. Frank says, Justin Dow just had a post about his Sears closing. Yeah. Oh, that's sad. Yeah. It's already hard enough for him to find good stores out where he is. Losing the Sears out there has got to suck. In Salem, this is a place I got fired from had SADs because most people already had the tools we needed. That'll happen.
Yes, you were right. He said, it's freaking reviews, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And, let's see here. The Falcon. Sears? What's Sears? I vaguely remember them. You know, you can thank Sears for Harbor Freight. Sears is the company that made Harbor Freight what they are today. Because they used to be the place you could go in, you could buy a tool. If you had a problem, you just slap it down the counter, they give you another one, no complaints, no arguments, and then they stopped doing that. And people went, where can I go? And somebody said, well, you can try out Harbor Freight. That's how I found out about Harbor Freight, was that exact conversation.
Yep.
Ooh, if Tesla made a cyber broom, they should come out with one of those. Uh, Richie's Restoration, done buying, done talking. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. If you don't buy a toolbox every year, you're correct. Well, yeah, it's, you know, I'm older, which means that a lot of the subscribers we get here are older. And what happens is, you get all these guys who come in here and start spouting stuff like, you're stupid, cheap tools are stupid. 9 times out of 10, they're young to, just started to middle age. You get the guys who've been doing it for 40 years in any kind of trade. They're doing anything. And you get that kind of, those decades of experience, and especially people who've actually been smart and checked out different stuff and haven't been like, well, I bought one thing and I just stuck with it. Because you don't learn anything from that. And what they'll all come back and tell you is, I spent too much money. I didn't get out of it what I put into it. Yeah. I wish I'd done something else. Where were you, 30, 40 years ago when I was just getting started with this stuff? And they'll tell you, don't buy the big end box. Don't buy the high end tools unless it's like, there are some things like the pullers and stuff that Snap-on makes that other companies don't come close to. So sure, buy the line wrenches. They make the best line wrench. Go buy that if that's what you need. But you don't need to buy it for every ratchets. Even if they made the best ratchet, the next best ratchet is only that much not as good and costs a third as much. So,
right. It depends on
yeah.
There's a lot of tools I think we've also talked about where depending on how often you're going to need to do the job, get the tool at Harbor Freight because you're not going to be using it every single day for the next 20 years.
Or wherever works. I mean,
if
it's Husky, if it's Tecton, if it's, whatever.
Right. The thing that will work for you best that's in your price point. You don't need to buy a $400 tool if it's something that you're literally going to do 4 times in your life. Like, that just doesn't make any sense.
Let's see here.
My jacket's really warm.
Jamie says, are any of the current Craftsman hand tools still made in the USA? Not to my knowledge. Yeah, not to my knowledge. And I've pulled them apart, and I gotta say, I'm not a fan of any of the new hand tools. The insides of the new ratchets are sharp. They'll slit you open. They feel like they're unfinished. They feel like they got 80% of the way and then just like, oh, we're gonna skip. It's good enough. We're done. And I don't get why they made that choice. Oh, let's see here. I know we're behind. I'm trying to catch up. Princess Leia's in the house.
That's right. With origami cranes.
Origami cranes. And my chat jumped on me. Hold on.
Yeah, it's always the chat's fault.
Oh, jeez. This is ridiculous. Why don't you read a comment?
305 watching, 115 likes, 5 dislikes. Come on, guys. We can get to 200. That's right. Yay.
120. All right. There we go. Javier says, I don't know why, but it seems I get into tool arguments at least once a month. Usually with a Snap-on guy. It just seems to ruffle their feathers when it comes to the pricing of tools. It's a cult. They have bought in. They've been told you get what you pay for, which clearly you don't. I mean, you know what? I'm not a fan of his channel, but you got to go over check AVE's latest video. First of all, I always said that he watched my videos. Hey, AVE, I'm sure you're watching. I used to be a huge fan of his before he started cursing and playing into all the tool bros that, you got to buy the most expensive or you're an idiot. Because he didn't used to be that way. If you go back and you watch his old stuff, it was just matter of fact to the point. It was good content. But anyway, he did a comparison, or he did a teardown on the Snap-on 14.4, and it's not. I mean, you don't need his take. Just look at the tool, and you'll be like, that is utter junk. And he paid what, $700 for the thing. Mm-hmm. But the people who buy that. And anyway, the point was that, then he looks at the Milwaukee. The Milwaukee 12 volt is clearly a better tool. It's got as much power. It does everything the other one does. And it's better made. And it's got a better warranty. It's got a better battery system. And it's half the price. You you don't get what you pay for, but you get what you spent your money on. I mean, you paid for it, you got it. But you can't overcome using your head by spending more money. That's not the way the world works. We had that woman who was charging, 2-3 times the price for Harbor Freight tools. Did that make them better tools?
No.
Anyway, and when you tell somebody, that's the problem. They're bought into it. They've and a lot of them, they also identify that that's who they are. They're like, I'm a top tier mechanic. I buy top tier mechanic stuff. Hence, I'm a master mechanic because of my tools. And if you can't be a master mechanic, if you can't do the same job without those top tier tools, then you're not a true mechanic. You need a certain level of quality tools. But man, I've seen a guy, like a top tier tile guy, who tiled an entire bathroom with a putty knife and a handheld saw.
Yeah.
Didn't need a wet saw, didn't need anything. I mean, he'd just take a look at a tile, man, he'd put it on the counter, snap, just crack it. He knew exactly where to do it. That's an artist, is what that is.
Steven, have a good night. He's going to bed because he has to work in the morning. We totally get it.
Good night, Steve.
We're going to still hang out with your wife, though.
Little bit of a pyro. Who?
We both pointed at each other.
Sonic asked if those are origami birds in your hair.
They are. They are origami birds that a friend of Eleanor's made, and then she did some artistic things. She did some drawing on them. I gave them a bunch of origami paper recently, and there are a lot of cranes in my house right now. There's a bunch of snakes, which I'm currently using as bookmarks. Yeah, it's origami up in here.
Let's see here. Steve says it's been around 15 degrees. Nope, not going anywhere. I'll see you in the summer. Terry says wish, because in wish it would come in.
Yeah.
Donna Ross threatening with a blowtorch again. She's so violent.
Yes. Well,
Dana Bowman says, which is better, Milwaukee or Earthquake XT? Depends on what you're doing with it. The Earthquake XT is an excellent one. I've got one right. Is it there? Where is it? It's
what are you looking
at? Right above my head. I have an Earthquake XT. But if you're working in a full line shop with everything, there's just not enough of a spread of the tools to support it. You can't get this whole line of tools to go along with it. They have a good set of tools. They're great tools. Everyone who's used it, lots of pros use it and think it's great. And it's definitely cheaper. It's again half the price. If their line of tools will do what you need, I would suggest getting that. If you're doing it professionally, I would also suggest getting the warranty, because the warranty is not that much more, and be able to walk in and just be like, replace it, be back to work.
Insylum, have a good night. He says, I must go to bed as I too work in the morning. Good
night,
Bears.
Good night.
Good night. We totally understand. And I apologize. I feel like I'm trying to read everyone's comments, and the camera is in a totally different place tonight. So I think they look like a crazy person not looking at the camera. Sorry, guys.
Dear Falcon says Scotty Kilmer has 2 cat pillows as backdrops. I can't look at those things. Drives me nuts.
I don't think that they're more than the tool chest, though.
No.
Just for clarification.
Kingsport Tools, I bought the Harbor Freight version of the Jaw Horse because of the bear. It's a great one, although I will say the Jaw Horse they've been clearing out the jaw. Some of the Lowe's have been doing a clearance on the Jaw Horse lately, and it's been down to like $60. Only some of them though, like 10%. Let's see.
Hipsters and Hippies says he loves origami and loves my hair. So there you go.
The bear is a right winger. I don't have any wings, and the bear is a radical centrist, extreme moderate.
Oh my goodness, we have to fix the lighting because I look washed out, and you have a very red face. And
Donna Ra's now threatening to mute me.
Yeah,
she said
that a while ago.
Would that be mutiny?
But
and chew on Tide Pods. Dan Tools says Virginia going to leapfrog past California in the nutty department. I think they already have. Check out James Hamilton's Stumpy Nubs channel for expensive backgrounds.
Pass the spider. Origami up in here. Origami lose my mind up in here.
Something like
up
that.
In there. That's right. I've already lost my mind, so I'm good.
Paul Zimmer, we didn't ask when you got your first toolbox. We asked when Red got his. Oh, I don't know. Probably the first camper he came across that had one. Look, lunch with a free toolbox. Barbecue 76, where are the men these days? Don't you know it's politically incorrect to be identified as a man in today's society? Yeah, I know.
Don't read it out loud.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know.
Goober McGoobersons.
I'm like that.
Yep. Love you.
Dad jokes are welcome. Oh, man, I'm always that guy who's like, tell me a joke, and I can never remember, but then the jokes, I remember them 5 hours later. Kingsport says, by the way, I'm the person that you used to see on here for last year as Mount of Olives. Oh, that's it.
Who?
Kingsport Tools is Mount of Olives.
Oh, I wondered what happened to Mount of Olives.
Yeah.
Welcome. Sorry, I think I was just really loud in the microphone.
GB Dome says, the freaking reviews guy. Yep, that's him. He's a nice guy. He really is.
He is.
I question his choice in sunglasses at times, but he's a nice guy.
Right, you question my choice in hairstyles.
Oh, every day.
Yep.
DR Falcon says, I'm going to be 65 next week. 5 years ago, I started growing hair all over, but it stopped growing on my head. Oh, we're going to freak out the ladies. We got to stop talking about that. Zaffiel says, freaking reviews. Well, you guys are obviously fans. Check him out. He's got a great one. Nightly Nerds was in here. That's another great channel. He's got some really great stuff.
Yes.
He plays video games, but then he talks about other things while he's playing the video games. He's got a great rhythm to him, so he's a great one to listen to. And if you like Vegas, like slot machines, my other friend runs a channel called Vegas Low Rollers. Go check him out. So you get to see a lot. I can understand also. I can take tools apart. I can put them back together. I can do electronics. I rebuild all sorts of stuff. I can't figure out how to run these modern slot machines. There's just this line goes that line, you get this, and then that happens, and then a turkey pops out, and then dancing women come up. I don't get it. But he mastered it.
Yes, and he's very fast.
Yeah.
I'm like looking for a diagram. I'm like, what happened? Why are we? What's happened?
Servant of YH, yes, I was thinking Yahweh, says Cobalt or Pittsburgh as far as quality. Well, there's multiple levels of Pittsburgh. So you have the base level Pittsburgh, which are junk, cheap tools. Then you've got a mid-level Pittsburgh, and then of course you have Pittsburgh Pro. I would say that the Cobalt is at or slightly above the Pittsburgh Pro level. I've got a whole tray. I mean, you want to see my miscellaneous test wrenches?
Oh wow.
Oh, wrong drawer. This is when I always laugh. I don't know if you guys can see this. When people ask if I have enough tools. This is all test wrenches. All right. And let's see your Cobalt. I'm sure here's a Cobalt ratcheting wrench. And let me see if I can find well, there's a Craftsman. And, oh my God, I just cut my finger off. No. And here's a basic Pittsburgh. All right. And the basic Pittsburgh, I mean, you can just tell. You can look at the stamping. You can tell by the deformation. The really easy way to tell the quality is you got to look along this edge and run your finger, and you can see the deformation of the mold, how bad it is. And then you look at something like this, and you could use it as a straight edge. It's just there's less waviness in the chrome. It's a better built tool. But that's the base level Pittsburgh, not the Pittsburgh Pro. Bell it up.
Fred Hill, sad, what a loss. Rush drummer, Neil Peart.
Oh, so sad.
$1.99. Thank you so much. I'm gonna sneeze. Bing, bing, bing. Thank you, Fred.
Rush was probably, if not my favorite band growing up. Went between them and Yes, and I listened to a lot of stuff, but they're the ones I kept going back to. Let's see here.
Tony.
Steppenwolf, Go on a Magic Carpet Ride. Man, I love that song. That's a rocking song.
Okay, do not get him singing, people, because there's not enough booze happening tonight. No singing.
Yeah, we need booze. Go get booze.
No.
Is the Bear still running for office? No, actually, I've deleted that channel. I just realized that with everything else going on, I don't have enough time to do political rants kind of stuff. And there's just... I try to live by example, and in this country, nobody wants to hear a centrist. Nobody wants to hear anything rational. That's why I joke and say I'm an extreme moderate radical centrist, because you have to be radical. You have to be extreme for anyone to care. If your answer is, it's like with tools. Well, what's the best this? What's the best this? Well, and if you take the, you got to figure out what you're using it for. And if you're rational about it, nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear extreme viewpoints. They want to hear everyone else is wrong. This is the only way to do it. You're a moron if you don't do it. You got to do it our way. If you can buy our 10-point program right now, down below, click here.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't have, 500,000 subscribers. Why we're slowly but steadily growing, but I'll never be that $1 million, $2 million subscriber because I force people to think. They don't like to do that. Let's see
Nightly
here.
Nerds, you're totally welcome for the shout out.
Nightly
you
Nerds!
have an awesome channel. Thanks for being here with us. And Tony M says, how come you give out misleading information? I think perhaps you don't tune in.
What misleading information?
We just
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. Maybe you need a hug.
And I just want to say about Nightly Nerds, I realize it's a horrible thing to say about somebody who has a channel, is when you go to their channel and you're like, this is fabulous. Why don't they have more subscribers?
Yes.
And I think it's because he's kind of eclectic. I don't think a lot of people go looking for a video game channel and then want really like good introspective thought and commentary. It's not two things that go together. People who watch video games are usually like kids and stuff. I love video games, all right? Don't get me wrong. But he's got such a great channel, man. Go check him out. He needs more subscribers.
Awesome. Go check him out and, hit the subscribe and the bell and just take a look.
Brett says that Porter cable tool looks like a good for large flat surfaces. I need a tool shaped like the Crud Thud to clean and descale truck frames and heavy equipment. Now, the guy who invented it, though, said that's why he invented it, was specifically for cleaning metal and frames and stuff like that. They make heavy gauge wire wheels and stuff for it, and not all. I don't think all of them are full wide. Some of them are narrow. Anyway, check it out. Anyways, I read or watched a whole interview with the guy who invented it. He's a smart guy. Don't forget about the old Kennedy Brown wrinkle finished tool chest. I'm not a fan because I'm a texture person and I don't like that texture. I absolutely love the old school hammered paint finishes, but that wrinkled paint finish it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. And I love the Kennedy toolboxes. They're great toolboxes, but they're more for like machinists. They're really thin drawers and stuff. Let's see here. Jim says, I have all brands of tools and work with them daily, and people can say what they want, but the Taiwan tool makers are world-class tools since the 90s, and they make great tools, period. They do, which is why you're seeing all sorts of people going to Taiwan. It's because Taiwan's got also a better work ethic than China. China, ripping people off is just considered like, if you get ripped off, it's not the person who ripped you off. It's not their fault, their society, the way the society looks at it. It's your fault for getting ripped off. That is a fundamental flaw with the society, if you ask me. There is unrest in the forest. There is trouble with the trees.
Oh my goodness. Barbecue 76. Thank you. $2. Bing, bing, bing.
And the axe ignores their pleas. I love that song. Some of the Snap-on guys are the tools, just some of them. They are. There's a lot of great guys who like Snap-on who understand, like, hey, I know I spent too much, but this is what makes me happy. And if you want to buy it, fine, which is why I call it a Gucci purse. It's a Gucci purse because it makes you feel good. She's got purses like that she doesn't need. They're not probably the best made purse in the world, but they're pretty and they make her feel pretty.
Yep.
And if your tools make you feel pretty, that's great. I'm happy for you. We don't judge.
Trying to make sure that everybody understands that it's just a purse and that you don't need to buy Gucci. You can have a purse from Target and it will still hold your money and be cool.
Mm-hmm. Quicksole, Capri tools look very interesting. Very good value point. No skips. I like their toolbox foam organizers in their sets. Any experience? No. I just reached out to Capri trying to get information from them, and they emailed me back, said that they weren't working with any other YouTubers this year, but that they would be interested in talking to me, and then I haven't heard from them. If you want them to work with me, email them. Say, hey, we want to hear more about you guys from somebody other than who you're working with too. Currently, get it over to the Den of Tools. We know he's going to give fair reviews. They look great. Barbecue 76 Freaking Reviews channel is one one that I have come across. He doesn't shill. He just gives an honest review. He does. And he has a lot of fun with it. Sonic says, I saw the new Walmart drill impact set on a pallet. Reminds me of Black & Decker in the early 2000s. They might actually get somewhere with this brand, in my opinion. They might. I think for homeowners, the low-level DIYs, they're gonna kill it, man.
Sorry.
What are you doing? 6,000
issues.
Walmarts can't go wrong.
Daughter of Ra has 39 subs, folks. She has no channel. Or, well, she has a channel, but no content. So
Hey, once we get her to 100 subs, she can get a custom URL for her channel.
That's right. That would be awesome.
Steve says they still have a Sears near us. Michigan sounds like the place to be, except in winter. Are Bauer batteries ever discounted? They do have coupons out all the time for them.
Nightly nerds, I love it. My tools make me pretty. That's right.
My tools make
That's
me
right.
pretty. I feel pretty.
Oh,
so pretty. Yeah. I also my dark secret is I like musicals too.
It's not a secret anymore.
Not a secret anymore.
290 people just
I feel like that guy. You remember that old TV show where the doctor was stuck up in Alaska? And then there was the old guy who used to work for NASA. Like, he was an astronaut, and he had this big house, and he was like real macho, thought everything was, but he liked musicals too. Northern Exposure.
Northern Lights?
Northern Exposure.
Northern Exposure. Yes. Maintenance
Man.
Hey, thank
Woo-hoo.
you. $4.99 with your cool pair. Keep it up. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you so much, Maintenance Man.
Speaking of somebody who needs more subscribers, you gotta check out Maintenance Man's channel. I just love listening to him talk, man. He's got a great voice. He's got a very matter of fact, just no nonsense way about talking to stuff. He talks about a lot of Harbor Freight stuff. He's talked about other things in the past, and he just really gets down to the point of it. I really like watching his stuff. It was a great review he just did of the magnetic power strip that U.S. General has. So go check him out. And let's see here. Robert Adams says, remember when Wendy's tables had Sears catalogs printed? Yeah, I do remember that.
Wait, what?
The old Wendy's tables, that they had laminated into the epoxy coating on the resin. They had the old catalogs and stuff underneath them.
Maybe that was in your area.
That was a long time ago.
I've never seen that.
Well, you're like 5, so.
Yeah. I'm also yeah.
The Raven says, hey, Bear, just a reminder for you that anyone into Black & Decker that Walmart is currently closing them out cheap. Dad got a Drill Impact 2 batteries for $40. That's a screaming deal. Mm-hmm. Yep. In fact, if you guys, I know a lot of you guys are fans of the Matrix system. I know Walmart carries that. It's a good idea to keep an eye on it. Also, they've been having some cheap prices on their Hyper Tough lawn and garden stuff. I've seen a lot of their 40-volt systems going for cheap. And the nice thing about their 40-volt system is it's a dual battery. So you don't have to buy a 40-volt battery. You can just buy, you can just use the regular, if you're already in the Hyper Tough system.
You gotta be going faster. I'm gonna read something while you start finding things. Steven reminded us, don't forget about the Maintenance Man's live tool testing live streams.
Yes.
Yes. Echo Belkin is gonna clock your speed.
Quick speed.
Yeah, his daughter of Ra's like, you gotta speed it up.
I hope he's got oh wow, I'm way behind. All right.
Yes.
All right, we're going into crunch mode here.
More speed reading.
Sal says, do they still work? Keep using them. I have and use my dad's U.S. Craftsman. So the Craftsman are great. Keep using them. The sad part is when they break, you have to take them in and they give you the new ones. And that's a painful moment. Client Graphics in the house. Happy Sunday to you and the family. Thank you very much, Mr. Client Graphics. You got to go check out his channel. He does a lot of great stuff. Yeah. Elkfist, I think it's a great idea to buy a new toolbox every year. If your business is expanding fast enough that you outgrow last year's toolbox. If you need to do it, that would be what they call good problems to have. Solson says, hello, Bears. What's a good low-cost welder? I'm a big fan of the titanium. I know you can get the Chicago Electric cheaper. I'm looking down here because I actually have the Chicago Electric under my desk over there and the titanium over here. Let's talk about used welders. I've used both. They both work. The titanium it's lighter, easier to carry around. The tip is easier to use, and it leads a better bead. It's just a better tool all around.
I should weld something.
Matt says, I was bummed out when Sears stopped carrying Die-Hard Platinum AMG batteries. They were rebadged Anderson Odysseys. A friend at Anderson told me they got... Yeah, that's it. Sears, everything there. Like, all their house brands are rebadged from something else. And they're usually pretty high-end brands, too. That's one of the sad things is you used to be able to get some real good deals on name brand stuff just because instead of called Maytag, it was called Kenmore. I remember when they rebadged Atari. They had a rebadged Atari. It was just an Atari. Donna Ross is Den of Tools 305 watching 115 likes, 5 dislikes. Come on, guys. Let's get it to 200. I want 200 likes or 200 dislikes. Either way, let's do it. Come on. Did we hit 300 last time?
I read that a while ago. Oh. Yes.
You don't know.
I do.
Actually, Martin makes the best line of wrenches. God, I can't read. Let's see here. All right, let's jump on here. David says, perhaps the bear can do videos showcasing the mods channel since people... David, that is a great idea. I should do a video highlighting all the mods channels.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you, David. Great suggestion.
Tell you what, in fact, if you are not just the mods, anybody who wants me to highlight their channel, I'm going to do one of those videos probably for next week. That's a brilliant idea, and I am honestly ashamed of myself. I didn't think of it sooner. Please send me an email at red@denoftools with a link to your channel. We're going to highlight the mods first, and then we'll go through and we'll do everyone's else's as well. So
you need to give them a deadline, like by Tuesday or
by
something.
Tuesday, by end of day Tuesday.
Yeah.
David, thanks for setting me straight on that. I should have done that a long time ago.
That's a great idea.
Bear One says, how are the Chicago Electric battery drill impacts, the blue and yellow ones? The blue and Chicago, you're talking about the 14 volt or the 12 volt? I mean, that's the only blue and yellow ones I can think of. They're okay. For light duty work, they're fine. Around the house kind of stuff. Quick Soul says, I had a guy with a 28K Epic Snap-on box. Couldn't balance tires. Didn't mean anything. I was just chatting in a forum. Some guy was complaining about his job. Says, hey, his job wants to quit. He was an apprentice. Had $10,000 worth of box and Snap-on tools. Talking about, I've got all these tools and I never get any real work. They treat me, and everyone's like, dude, you're an apprentice. Why do you have 10K in Snap-on tools? And it's because people told him he needed Snap-on tools. And because Snappy told him he needed them and was more than willing to sell it to him.
Yeah.
Business, if you hadn't noticed, I'm a big one for business ethics. I've run businesses. I've seen what you can do to people. I don't sell stuff. I would never sell stuff to people who can't afford it. We had one guy who was like, things are going bad in my life. I can't afford to keep sponsoring you. Is that okay? I'm like, totally. That's not even a second thought.
You gotta take care of yourself first.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. Yankee Cantrell, $2. Showing some love from 10EC. Hashtag shine on. Ding, ding, ding. William Creighton with a pair with a thumbs up.
Sports pair.
Well, yeah.
It's a pair and he's got a little sports pin.
Yes, getting in
Do
shape.
your ringy thingy.
$2.99. Ding, 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 ding.
I gotta catch up here.
Yep.
Steve says, I'm not going to bed just yet. We told you to go to bed. You got to go to bed, young man. You just described AVE's most recent video. Snap-on was crap. Milwaukee was good, I think, and it was a 12-volt sander polisher. Yep.
Bear One said, the 12 or 14 volt, whatever they are, Mom really likes them. Might think about getting them for her. If she can have her own tools, she can, because she really likes how they felt in her hand. Yeah,
they're great. The smaller 12-volt tools are nice. So, yeah, they're not top tier kind of stuff, but as I said, for around the house, they're just fine.
Go ahead.
Am I trying to catch up?
Yes, hurry up.
It's Jeep's 3.6 liter has gas. Is Jeep's 3.6 liter gas engine gutless? I kind of stopped following them after the 4 liter. That was one of my favorite. Inline 6s are always do it for me. I can't speak about the 3.6. If anyone has experience with it, jump in. Shaun of the Dead, I find the older I get, the less I worry about brand names and labels. It's all about ROI. That stands for return on investment. Buy quality for the price. That's right. That's scripture is what that is. Mm-hmm. AVE cursing is just him being him. He was fake before. A lot of trade guys have potty mouths. Nah, man. You could tell before. no. You could see him change. Now, I'm not saying that cursing isn't something that guys do, and I don't mind. I run a family-friendly channel because I choose to. I'm not going to say somebody shouldn't. I'm in the shop when I'm by myself. I'm just like any other guy. But when the children or the ladies aren't around, but he's played into it and made a career out of it. Somebody being honest was my buddy I used to, Doug, man. And he only had one. There was only one word he knew how to use, and he would use it repeatedly. It was like, beep, 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 beep. And people were like, rapid fire. That's all he would say. And it'd be like all day long coming out of oh my gosh, it was hilarious. What does the number of teeth on a ratchet mean? Some are 72, some are 90. Why are Quinn digital torque wrenches so pricey? Even though the Icon torque wrenches are ranked higher. The Icon are pricey because they're digital, so there's a computer in there, there's more technology. 72 to 90, it's how smooth they are and how far you can throw. If you're in a very tight space, you want more teeth because you can get more ratchet out of it. If you have lower teeth, like I tested one that had, I think it was 24 teeth. If you're in a tight area, you couldn't get to the next click. It was a useless ratchet. And then you have that Husky one that actually you put the ratchet on there, and rather than cranking it, you turn it. That's pretty clever. Maintenance Man, I'm looking at the Diamondback tile saw from Harbor Freight. Do you have any opinion on it? Dude, it's a beast. It's an absolute beast. Look at the website. I think it's Land something tile. Man, I'm terrible at these names. He did a review on it. He loves it too. He's a professional tile guy. He does tile stuff all the time. I had a blast with that thing. I don't know if there's anything it wouldn't cut through. Go ahead.
Fred Hill 199. Did you get your Tecton punch set? Great buy at 50. Ding, 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 ding.
No, I have not because someone doesn't love me. I got a birthday coming up, so maybe I will. Anyway, that is a great set, and I'm hoping to be picking up here shortly. If you guys don't know, you got to check out the Tecton, the GUN punch set. I got to spell it because we're on the YouTubes. Fascist blown from.
Anyway.
Maintenance Man, I'm looking at it. Okay, we just said that. Quicksaw says, I love Earthquake, but its line is lacking so many things. It is. And that's the same thing I say about the Hercules. They're great tools, but they need more. Ron Smith says, you're right. In the 80s, when they came up with Kmart, had a lifetime warranty on their tools, I was right around the corner and was doing mechanic work and towing. Bear One says, I live by the 11th commandment, thou shalt not pay retail. I also live by the it'll be fine mantra because a wet donut is still a donut after all. That's true. Richard says, do you remember the high dollar tool benches from Kennedy with the brown? A lot of people still think they make them, and they stopped making them a while ago. Boy, that Ryobi really doesn't fit on your bench behind you. It sure does. It kind of stands out, doesn't it?
Eleanor did a drawing.
Aww.
I think she's dancing on the TV.
Paul Saint-Marie, the basic problem with all cordless tools is the manufacturers insist on sticking bog standard 18650 proprietary plastic holders and charging huge markups. It is. It really is. It's because there's no standardization on batteries, and there really needs to be. Harbor Freight, I think, really missed the boat by not doing one battery for all their tool lines, and I've told them that to their face repeatedly. They watch these videos. I'm telling them now. They missed the boat on that one. But the thing is that 18650 are going away, and everyone's going to be moving over to the, was it 21, 27? I can't remember. The bigger, the longer ones. Go on.
Terry Rack, $5. Good night, all. Be safe. Remember to keep it friendly. No politics and dad jokes welcome. $5. Thank you, Terry. Ding, 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 ding.
Zaffio says, thank you, Terry, by the way.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Oh, is he leaving?
It
He
says
said good night. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Good night, Terry. Have a good one. Zaffio says, not tool related, but I bought a rice cooker after watching Technology Connections video about crazy. That was awesome, wasn't it? I had no idea. We've had rice cookers like that for years. You gotta watch it, man.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You go to Technology Connection and watch their video about rice cookers. If you are into the science of how things work, there is something really cool about the the physical properties of metal and magnet in something that, like, you used to get those Black & Decker ones for, like, free,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
From Kohl's.
Yeah,
They're just the
Kohl's,
cheap little...
yeah.
But that little spring disc that's in the center, I always thought that was just to keep the pot steady or something. No, that's what triggers the mechanism based on it. When the pot goes in, it connects it to the magnet holds it down. But when it gets to a certain heat, because the water's evaporated, it overcomes the magnetic properties of the magnet, releasing the disc. Disc pops up, turns it off. It's insane how somebody came up with that. It's brilliant. Frank says, when I watch AV, my wife starts getting angry with me. Yep, same thing. She hates it.
Oh my gosh. It makes me literally want to light the TV on fire. Light it on fire.
Andrew said, I had corded Bauer 1050 impact, but it stopped working and just free spins after 6 months of use. I bit the bullet and got a Milwaukee M18 Fuel 1400 foot-pound. The Bauer, the corded one is like a home use kind of thing. It's a I don't even know if it hits 1,000. It's a decent home gamer. I need to take a tire off every once in a while kind of thing. It's definitely not in the same league as the Milwaukees. Let's see here. How much does Harbor Freight pay you? Man, it must be sad to be that desperate. They don't pay me anything, never have. I will never accept money from a tool company. Because the only ads we ever take are ads for like tertiary kind of stuff, things that aren't directly related to the tool industry. Like even the soldering station, they're letting me use it. I'm not taking money from them. I turn down money all the time. Chinese companies all the time.
All the time.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna start another series of videos called "It Came from China." Aubreykin, I'm still on the China boycott, but if you aren't and you can avoid expensive work tables, instead look into commercial kitchen prep tables. Cheap. You know what, Aubrey? You're right on that. And what do you call it? Craigslist business listings is a great place because there's always some kitchen, some professional kitchen going out of business, and they just need to get rid of stuff because it's more expensive to store it than the stuff is worth. And you can pick up some cheap stainless benches.
Well, even above and beyond that, any desks, chairs, anything office related, just keep an eye out and you can score big time.
Here's a pro tip for that. Get some 2x4s, laminate them together, and then epoxy them to the underneath side of it, so it will get rid of some of the flex you'll see in the bigger tables and give it a more robust feel. You could also do the same thing with plywood. You could do that as well.
Good night, maintenance man.
Good night. Steven says, Wood by right likes dad jokes, and I have a book of dad jokes and dad jokes loading shirt. Dad jokes loading. I like that. Javier says, are you also well versed in the area of barbecue and barbecue pits? I know some. I would say I'm like medium versed. I've done barbecue pits. I am not a cook. We have some guys. There's somebody, Barbecue 76 might be the person if you ask some really serious questions.
Oh my goodness, yes. He has great information. I can't remember if he's gone. I think he's still here, though.
Special Moose. Oh man, I love that name. Special Moose says, hey, I've been using the Irwin Pliers Wrench Knipex knockoff. Been loving them. Are the Knipex versions that much better to justify the price? No. They're better. I love Knipex. I love Klein. I'm looking. I've got some Klein tools around here. I don't know where I have like one Knipex. I don't know where it is. But they're great. And if you can afford it, they're not that much more. But to say that they're like a leap, if you're doing it professionally every single day and this is like your main go-to tool, like if you're an electrician and you're always reaching for that tool, yeah, get the Knipex or get the Klein or whatever. But if it's like a secondary tool, like that's the thing. You need to understand how often you use that tool. I see these people like, well, I bought the top of the line, blah, blah. How often do you use it? Oh, about once a month. It makes no sense. That's how companies go out of business. You're a company. If you have to buy your own tools to do your job, you're not an employee. You're a company providing service to another company. And you need to look at yourself that way, and you need to be doing your taxes that way too. Just, if you listen to me, I'll save you thousands of dollars a year that if you take and you turn into an investment, will turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars. I promise you, I do this for people all the time. And I'm not selling a plan. There's no plan to buy. All you have to do is sit here and listen. It's totally free. You do have to click the like button, though. Well, not that I could verify whether you did or not, but somehow we'll make it a requirement. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Where'd I go? Bum, 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 bum. Also, don't forget, type at Den of Tools. And like you see other people type where it's at the Den of Tools. You have to the in there. At the Den of Tools. And it shows up as orange. Those are the messages I read. Levy says, I'm assistant store manager at Harbor Freight. Please let people know that another chunk of the store are putting up the 73 icon displays during ours on Tuesday. Yeah, eventually every store is supposed to have it. I don't know how they're going to fit it in every store, but I do know they're rolling it out to a lot more. Ogden, Utah. Hey, that's the store I stopped at on my trip up last summer. Love the Ogden store. It's a great store you guys have there. Robert Adams says, old people lie when they say they don't understand tech. If they can use that Keno slot machine, they can program a supercomputer. Quicksall says, all stores will have icon boxes on display by February. Wow, they're rolling them out quick. Yeah, if you're wondering if Icon's doing well for Harbor Freight, they wouldn't be rolling them out to all the stores and using up that much floor space if they weren't getting the money back on them. Elkfist says, if you like Rush, and yes, you'd probably enjoy some of Dream Theater stuff. I've listened to it. It's not my favorite. Hold on. Labrador, come here. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that's a new move.
Yeah.
Come here. Come. Oh, my gosh. Ah! Settle. Gentle. Oh, you want to say hi to everyone? Say hi. Look, they're there. They're right there. Look at them. Look at them.
You're on TV. Very ferocious.
Go.
Come on.
Grab you by the tail.
Oh, you're crazy.
She's so abused and neglected. Can you tell? She's almost 6 and she still acts like a puppy. Rodney says, my son is a drummer and he likes Tool. I'm not a fan of Tool. I know a lot of people are like, well, if you like Rush, you have to like Tool. No, I don't. Just bought a mini moisture meter from Harbor Freight. Say, haven't used it yet, nor have I ever used one. Any good? How about the Tool? I don't know anything about that tool. I've seen it, never used it, don't know anything about it. Fence sitting is also super weak. It's not fence sitting. That's an excuse people make to try and get you to choose sides. Fence sitting is somebody who can't make a decision. There's a difference between can't make a decision and you need information. You need data. It's called science. It's called thought process. It's called being intelligent. It's called having an IQ. It's bigger than your shoe size. Not trying to be mean, but that's how smart. I've worked with smart people. Like people with double doctorates in mathematics who can do physics computations in their heads. If you aren't smart, surround yourself with smart people. If you are smart, surround yourself with smart people who disagree with you. I surrounded myself and took jobs and positions and challenged myself to be around people smarter than me so they would lift me up. And once you get to that height, you can see down, you can see that kind of logic. That's weak logic. That is weak sauce is what that is. Yeah. Sitting there saying, well, that's just fence sitting. It's not fence sitting. It's not like, I can't decide. It's no. There's more data points than you're willing to admit is what that is.
Trust me, as somebody who's married to him, he definitely has an opinion.
Oh,
and he's
just
not
a little
about
one.
It.
Not at all. But I get the data. I find the information, and I don't just go down
research.
one path.
Yeah.
Frank, I mean, you know how much time I spend on this channel? Pretty much all day, every day. Because if I'm not using a tool, making a video, using a tool while making a video, I'm researching it. I'm reading up on it. I'm talking to other people. I actually go out. I find work sites. I stop and I talk to people. Hey, what do you think about that? Have you tried this? What do you think of that? It's weird and it's annoying for some people, but I go out there and I get the information.
I know that you're catching up. Daughter of Ra says, hey, my fellow mods, I need you all to email me at daughterofra1@gmail.com. Please include your username.
Frank says, Pert is awesome, but John Bonham from Led Zeppelin is the best. Okay. Have you seen Led Zeppelin in concert? Because I have. And I love Led Zeppelin. All right, Misty Mountain Hop, and I mean, I'm a Zeppelin fan from back in the day, but I gotta say, Pert was better. Brett says, I found what I need, an electric version of the crud thing, MBX Blaster for $500. Going to keep looking for something under $300. Brett, send me an email. I do all this research. I like to do these deep kind of rabbit hole dives. Send me an email exactly what you're looking for, and also I can get back to you. It's red@denatools.com, and we're going to see what we can come up with for you.
Yeah.
Will Harbor Freight start to manufacture their own tools? I don't think they will ever do that. It's
so complicated.
Well, the thing is if you own the factory, what's the difference really at some level? What's the difference between you owning the factory and you paying for that factory to make a tool that you designed? Because that's what Harbor Freight does. Their high-level tools are stuff that they do all the design in California at their headquarters. And I've talked to the guys, I've met them. I know these guys, dude. They're tool designers and engineers and brainiacs, and that's all they do is they live and breathe tool design. And then they go literally over to China, and they spend half the year over there working with them, and then they leave people there. When a company manufactures in China, a big company, Harbor Freight's a $4 billion a year company. They're not small fry. When they go over there, they don't just sit there and go, oh, hey, make us this, and then turn around and walk away. You don't do that in China. That's how you get screwed. They have people living at the factory. And when I say living there, I'm not making a euphemism. There's somebody there 24/7. If the factory's running, there's somebody there. And it's not like one person. It's a team is sitting there working directly with them. That's the thing is all these people think like, oh, I know how manufacturing works because I've been on that side and I've dealt with Chinese manufacturers in importing. Let's see here. I know I'm getting more behind, aren't I?
Yep.
Daughter Raw, I'm at 39 subs. One more. Tony M says, I'm not a YouTuber. I have a real job. Aw, do you? Because I had real jobs too. I was a carpenter. I did low voltage. I ran a tech company for 20 years, multi-million-dollar one. I've done more things than you probably will do in your life. And that's why at 50, I could sit back and do something fun like this while you're probably still trying to scrabble to make a living. If you don't follow the fundamentals, that's what happens to you. My tools make me pretty. It's just a purse. Stop putting little dogs in them. She wants a hedgehog for her purse.
I do. I want a hedgehog, like in the worst way. I'm not in a position to have a hedgehog right now. Kevin
says, what are your opinions on the DeWalt half-inch impact favorite impact wrench? Well, they make... Oh, impact wrench. I was going to say impact driver. If you're professional, doing this every day in a big tier shop, get the Milwaukee. Or the Makita. Makita makes some great stuff, and we keep forgetting to talk about Makita. If you're a prosumer, maybe like it's a business kind of hobby kind of thing, I would say get the Earthquake. If you are just a doing it for funsies kind of person, get either the Bauer or the Cobalt, the Cobalt 24 volt. And I've got the Bauer, I've got the Earthquake, and somewhere I've got the Cobalt. And let's see here. Rush was the soundtrack of my youth. Rip, Mr. Pearl. If you want a good power trio and you don't mind singing in Japanese, check out Nijin Isu. I'm not sure who they are. I will check them out though. My Japanese is relegated to like Ichi San Shi kind of stuff. And Domo Arigato, Mr. Miyato. I can say
okay,
Onegaishimasu.
We're behind. He knows.
And I can order sushi too.
Yeah.
I did martial arts. Did lots of martial arts back when I was younger.
Yes.
Japanese and yeah. Anyway, Kennedy roller cabinets are heavier steel than the machinist chest. Depends on a lot which line you get. The K2000 line is heavier than the K1800 line. Yeah, Paul. I know Paul's a huge fan of them. I don't like them. I do. I don't like the finish, but they're great. They're great boxes. What's your favorite gun channel? What's my favorite gun channel? I just forgot his name. The guy in Louisiana. Oh, you know what I've been watching a lot is the AK guy. I can't remember his name. Brandon something. I've been watching a lot of his stuff. I'm an AK fan. I really am. I have ARs. I started with AKs. I switched to ARs, but I always have a soft spot for them. Aaron says, do you have any opinions on EDC knives looking at the Kershaw leak? It depends on how you carry, what you carry, also what's legal in your area. Gun laws are actually easier to deal with than most knife laws. I'm going to say something I know is going to upset a lot of people. My favorite knife is Benchmade, but as far as everyday carry, I'm looking around for it because I know it's around here, right here. I carry one of these. It's the Leatherman because they've really upgraded the blade on this. It's very much like kind of like a Spyderco kind of blade, which I'm not a huge fan of Spyderco, but I like the flip style of I have a Benchmade Axis. That's my favorite knife. And then also, hold on, let me see if I have it. Read a comment while I search real quick.
Okay. Before I forget, this is Eleanor's drawing. She's not feeling well. Joe, I will let her know that you liked her last one. Steven says, all right, ladies and gents, time for me to go to bed. Good night, all.
Good night, Steven.
Elkfist says, Demolition Ranch is a great gun channel. That is true. They've got a lot of stuff going on there. I'm not really sure where you let off or where you finished over here.
I also like CRKT. I pick these off of Woot all the time. This is a nice all metal. It's really heavy though. It's not like an everyday carry kind of thing. Anyway.
Have a good night, Steven. Have a great day at work tomorrow.
White Pop says he can't watch AVE. Old Mechanic says, what is your favorite chainsaw? An axe is really my favorite. I use the electric stuff these days. I've got one of the Bauer ones. I don't have any big trees that I need to fell. It's all smaller stuff. It's what are those stupid trees? The box elders.
Yes.
They're like weeds up near our house. They never get bigger than that. So I take one down about every summer. I have to take down another box elder. I'm probably going to take it down 5 or 6 this summer. Talk to Joe Smith. Joe Smith is our resident chainsaw guy. Fried TV just got on here. What is AVE? Which is funny because his channel started off talking about it had to do with Android electronics, not Android, Arduino electronics, which is why I know about him because I used to do a lot of stuff with Arduino because it was the basis for a lot of 3D printers and CNC machines. Toys SR71 or Troy SR71. I heard on another channel last week sometime that FTC is looking into Harbor Freight's advertising, something to do with the print being too small. It's only a rumor from what I heard, but I would not be surprised because it is. You can't read the small print on the coupons. There's too much of it. And like when they print that up to 90% off on the print stuff, even on you can't read it. You can't read it online. You can't read it on the print. Troy says, all right, we just read that one. Bear one, are there cheap manual light bezomatic propane torches any good? The jumbo pencil flame one is what I'm thinking getting. I've never had a problem with any of the benzomatic stuff, and I've had a lot of it. I used to make moonshine stills and stuff like that, and I use those all the time. I like the automatic ones though, because when you're doing it a whole bunch, trying to get out the lighter and click it all the time is a real pain in the wazoo. Zaf says, tell people to be careful with office restaurant furniture and auctions. You might actually win everything. Yeah. Yes. I've been in a situation like that wondering, how am I going to get this home? Had to go rent a U-Haul.
Yep.
Looking at condos in Vegas, Summerlin or Meridian condos by the Strip. Thoughts? If it's an investment, I would do it near the Strip because like if you're looking to do a Airbnb kind of thing, you're going to get more money back from it. If it's for you, I'll tell you right now, and because we talk about we live on the west side, we live in Summerlin.
Yep.
I hate Summerlin because it's a bunch of old biddies and people who are think highly of themselves.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, they're like, I live in Summerlin. I don't care. I live here too, and you're Crack Monkey. It's a beautiful place, and we're right up against Red Rock, and there's a lot of beautiful areas around here, and it's gorgeous, and you have a great view over the city, and the mornings are beautiful, and I would rather live in what you call it? What's the southeast part of town? Sorry, Henderson. I would much rather live in Henderson.
We are catching up, so keep trucking.
Jennifer White Wolf in the house. Hey, Jennifer. How's what's the name? How's
Indy.
the hound? Yes. How's Indy doing? Hey, finally here. Had to fix dinner soon, but here for a bit. David Drake says, Bear, I need your help on an Icon ratchet replacement. I don't work for Harbor Freight. I don't know what I can do. Old Mechanic, what's your favorite? Oh, we answered that. Trent says, political correctness makes people stupid. Yes, it does. Andrew says, I believe in being polite, but I also believe in being honest and trying to do stuff like that. But political correctness is dishonest in its intent from the beginning. It's trying to make you to do something so you don't break some weird rules that they've created. It's not, yeah.
Andrew says, Milwaukee heated jacket says I need an extra large chest, but a 3X waist. LOL. I'm 6 foot and 235.
Yeah, you got to measure for the biggest part, so whatever works for you.
Yeah, I have really, really broad shoulders, so I have trouble getting jackets.
Yeah, that's the shoulders were the problem. David says, need help with the Icon ratchet replacement. No one knows anything, even the store manager. No, you're talking about the 3/4, the one that got recalled. Are you talking about you've already sent it back and you're waiting to find out more information? My understanding is it should be happening soon, but I don't have exact details on it. Mike Smith says, what's your day job to be doing nothing but this channel all day? It's called living a life without spending frivolously and being smart about where you spend your money.
And staying off the tool truck.
And staying off the tool truck.
What's going on? You hungry?
Thanks for putting all that work into this channel for us. Charlie, you're more than welcome. Pass the spider, preferably one of those makes the proverbial chainsaw-like noise in the movies and cartoons. Nice. Ronald says, Rodney Dangerfield explained how business works in Back to School. He was totally right. Man, teacher looks sick. Yes, he did. Remember to hit that like button. We're at 214. We had over 300 people here. We can do better. We should be able to hit 300 likes tonight. It's free. We're running a special. Likes are free tonight only.
That's right.
Except for also next week and the week after. When I was in college, my automotive prep program would piss off the snap rep when I told him, when I would show him the inside of Harbor Freight ratchet and how similar it was to the Snap-on one. And they'll make all sorts of my favorite one is well, wait until it breaks and you bust your knuckles. Well, we've put them to the test. We've broken them all, and the Snap-on doesn't break any less or any more. They're all about the same. Not just Harbor Freight. All of them are about the same, except for Wright. If you want one that's not going to break on you, you got to buy a Wright tool. Hipsters and hippies in the house. Craig says, watching Barrett Jackson on the TV. Has anyone noticed the caboose on the... I love watching Barrett Jackson. I took 2 years ago, I took the oldest to a Barrett Jackson here locally in Vegas. What a blast.
Indy continues to do well. Lots of happy tales. Thanks for asking.
Paul St. Marie recommends Taflater Mouse. Daughter soup, chicken soup, and bedtime for the little Miss Bear.
Yeah, they're all hungry. I fed them all dinner before the live stream, and they're hungry now.
Bear One, I'll say very much just like AK is the only AK I would ever consider is the Israeli Galil. Oh, the Galil is beautiful. Anything the Israelis make. Come on.
You guys can chat about that later.
All right.
But not right now, because we're catching up.
Jibidome says, I have a Leatherman juice. That's a nice little one. Ronald Smith says, Daughter Raw, you're right. I like the button join for a sandwich or a cup, coffee, stick of gum. It's good cause, and you get a bear with your name. Oh, join the membership. Yeah. Oh, okay, I was trying to follow that one. Barbara says, want to buy a welder for husband for his garage. He has 220 in the garage, but has never welded. Should we buy the Harbor Freight 125 or the 170 volt 220? He's celebrating 4 years cancer-free. A, that's great.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
B, how seriously does he want to learn how to weld? Because if you really, really want to learn how to weld, you should start with a stick and or a flux core. You can make a lot of mistakes with both. Stick will really teach you how to strike an arc. If you just want to weld and make cool stuff, go MIG. MIG is like a hot glue gun for anybody who can pick up a MIG gun. She could do it and pick up a MIG gun and go to town and be a great welder. The Chicago Electric stuff is great. Just going to say, if you can afford it in your budget, the titanium stuff is just a little bit more. Go to Harbor Freight Coupon Database for a discount. They have coupons there. You can find the coupons on them. They're a little bit more, and they have all the features that you will have wished came on the Chicago Electric. If anybody has... Now, I'm not a welder. I have a lot of friends who are professional lifetime career welders, and I've learned from them. But if there's anybody else on here who says, like, hey, I've tried these other welders, they should try that, please comment down below right now. Put that down there because, I only know the welders I've played around with. I can't really speak about all of them.
Good night, Echo. Also, I know you're listening as you're driving to work, Shadow's Edge. Pick it up. But you need to send an email to daughterofraw1@gmail.com. Any of the other mods who maybe haven't been paying attention, or you guys are always paying attention, but you guys need to send an email to daughterofraw1@gmail.com.
Elkfist says AVE actually stands for Arduino versus Evil. There you go.
Yeah, you can have one. Maybe
Jennifer says AVE is a potty mouth tool tester channel. He swears way too much as his shtick.
Yeah.
He used to be just brilliant, but he went down some rabbit hole. I don't know. It works for him.
Yeah.
Not for me. Bear One says, I'm just worried about seeing some of the videos on higher up on Autolite Benzomatic leaking and being a flame fountain. I've never had that experience, but everyone has a dog, Everyone makes an Edsel at some point. If they've got one model that doesn't work, don't get it. Lewis says, I gave AV one try, left after 15 minutes. In the 90s, I sounded like that. I grew out of it. It just sounds immature to me. It does. What he sounds like to me is one of the new guys who's been on the job for like 2 or 3 years and thinks he's one of the old salts now because he's not the low man on the totem pole. And so he tries to act like, all the stupid, F new kids, like, dude, grow up. When you see guys who've been on the job 30, 40 years, they're not talking like that.
Hey, Codeology.
Codeology in the house. But are you sure the shoulders are the problem? Jennifer says, Andy continues to do well, lots of happy tales. That's awesome.
Yep, I read that.
Jim Haynes, I watch Cops, and they're going to New York, NYE County, and it looks a lot like on the rough side. I understand it's like the I Can't Afford Vegas place. Nye County. Oh, that's over. That's where. What do you call it? Where the Tractor Supply is. What is that over there? Pahrump.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No. Yeah, it's a little methy over there. And Fry TV. Okay, thanks. Love his stuff. Watching his videos a lot. Let's see here. Howie says, at least AVE still tests tools. When was the last time the Bear tested a tool? Really? When was the last time AVE tested a tool? He takes them apart, tells you what's wrong, and never actually tests the tool, does he? No. You're not going to win this battle, man. You came here empty-handed. Okay, we read that one. Ronald Smith, I need to hire the 2 bears to come with me to Virginia tomorrow for the rally. I'm not allowed to bring a stick. Man, I wish I could be there. But I also don't think it's right to show up from people from out of state because I'm not one of those people who are believes in stuff in the ballot box, as it were.
Buying off a tool truck. It's the one you missed. Buying off a tool truck breaks the first rule of business, keeping the overhead low. We say it over and over again. People start businesses and you want to have the Gucci of whatever.
Yeah. And
you just work with what you have.
Well, and these people refuse to believe the fact that they are a business. And I'm telling you, in practically no other field are you required to spend $100,000 to do your job. And by the time, if you're buying Snap-on and tool truck stuff, by the time you spent 20 years in, you're spent $100,000. Echo's heading off for the night, 11:30. Good night, Mr. Echo. You take care. Mike Carter says, the only update I have for the Dune movie is that the end of the first movie is when Paul is fighting for the leadership of the Fremen people. I'm not even looking at it. I want to wait until it's all out and see it. I don't want to set any expectations that aren't going to be met. The Edsel did look cool. It wasn't a bad car, apparently. They just, I don't know, bad marketing or something. Anyway. Tim Johnson, I do not see the Icon screwdriver sets of Harbor Freight. I don't know. Here's the problem. A lot of the people at Harbor Freight that I know who actually are the guys, like, I don't talk to sorry, someone bit me or something. I don't talk to management at Harbor Freight, corporate side, that much, or as little as possible, because I have a very short fuse when it comes to corporate doublespeak and stuff. I talk to the guys who make the tools, and right now a lot of them are overseas, overseeing new tool lines and rollouts and stuff. So I don't have a lot of contact with them right now.
I just tried to turn off the heater. Good luck.
Yeah.
Hopefully it should stop.
Tim said, okay, why does it sound? Oh, the dryer's running. That's why it's the heater.
Yeah.
Dale says, at Harbor Freight, we just made room for the icon boxes. I agree that the marketing department needs to put down the green. I get trouble from customers every day. Have lost sales because of wank. That like, you know, like a lot of people missed that last parking lot sale because it was yet another, you know, everything must go tool distribution sale. Aubrey Kid says, you, AV, Wranglestar are all great guys in your own way and what you do. The YouTuber fanboyism, anti-fanboyism is really funny from over here. Yeah, I like Wranglestar. I like watching his stuff. He gets off into the woods sometimes with some things. But I think he's a great guy. And honestly, I think as a person, AVE is probably salt of the earth. I think he got into a rabbit hole with trying to appeal to this audience. But he's also built a channel that makes $80,000 or more. At least last I checked, which was over a year ago. $80,000 a month just from fan donations on his Patreon site. Dude, he's $1 million a year tool channel, and you know the only issues I take with him are his language and the fact that he's kind of pulled back from it in the last year. I will say this, to be entirely honest, he used to be like, if it was a top of the line tool, he was in the bag for it because that's where his fanboys wanted him to be, and he has stepped back from that.
You're welcome.
He still curses up a storm. It's not as... I also don't think that's quite as bad as it used to be. But, I mean, like, I see him with his daughter. You know, I'm jealous that his French is way better than mine, probably because he lives in French Canada and stuff. And he seems like a great guy. And Wranglestar, too. I mean, he's got a great family. And, you know, I could only be wished to having channels, you know, doing as well as they do. But I'm happy with the channel that we have, and I'm really happy with the people that we have here because we have people who are intelligent, who think for themselves, who aren't afraid to disagree with me and have a conversation, and bring facts to the table.
Yes,
Elkfist.
it's finally stopped.
Virginia is simply testing the waters. If the grabbers win, it will spread. Yes, it will. They want to take over the South like nobody's business.
We're moving on.
How did you and Red meet? Did he sneak up in your garage and take some tools? Well, we were out camping and I had some tools and he did try to swipe them. He was just a cub, and that's where I picked him up, and you know, he knew a few words of English that he'd learned from other hikers, like, oh my God, he's killing, you know, Debbie, and and run, it's a bear. But we went from there. Bear One says, did you manage to catch up? No, I haven't. This is one of the worst ones. I'm way behind.
Yes, you are.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, shh. I'm caught up.
You're almost all caught.
It won't last. Arkin, he got into a rabbit hole buying the CNC machine. Yes, he did. He's always, if you go way back, he always had this idea, and I think it's a brilliant idea, where he wanted to group source inventive solutions and ideas and make them. And that was the culmination was getting that scene. He's been wanting to do that for like 8 years to do and get these people together. And he has not had a lot of success. He thought with all these smart people, there's a lot of machinists and stuff who watch his show that he would get to do this thing and create and invent something really cool. And I don't think he's been able to do that. And I bet he's really bummed about it. I can understand it. It's a great idea about crowdsourcing, an invention. But you have to have people who are bought in, who are dedicated to the inventive process to do that sort of thing. Daughter, I was like, the sound went off. That's great.
Yes.
Trent says, never trust the French. I shall fight in your general direction. Howie says, I really hate to see fellow YouTubers bashing each other. Really, what are your motives? What good comes from bashing? I wasn't bashing. Other people brought it up, and I was responding to it by talking about critiques. But then I also talk about good things that they do.
And also that they are free to do it, and it's their channel.
And I think I've also said that they're good people and stuff like that. That's not bashing. If you can critique somebody, I have no problem with people critiquing me. You got to bring intelligence with it. You can't just make accusations. You got to have a foundation for it. Let's see here. And I do, and you'll never see me doing videos about it. We talk about it here in the live stream because this is kind of the inner sanctum where we hang out and we chew the fat with the inner circle, if you would. But you'll never see me doing a video saying, this person's a terrible person. I did one video calling out AVE because he did lie. He flat out lied in a video about the Hercules. He said straight up that there were things that weren't true, and he's intelligent enough to know that they weren't true when he said it. And here's the thing is, I will never say something about somebody that I wouldn't say to their face. And if I met him somewhere, I would ask him flat. Probably the first thing I would ask him would be like, why did you do that when you know it's not true? And why is the video still up when you know that people are calling you out about it? And I'm not the only one. If you go into the video and you watch the comments, there's a lot of people in his own people who've been there for years going, dude, you're flat out wrong about this. I mean, he said the cells weren't Samsung cells when they clearly are. There's just some things you can't get past.
Yeah. Daughter of Ra, yes, you're in the inner circle. She says, am I in the inner circle? Yes.
Who's bashing the bear? Well, you came out swinging. You came out saying, why do you say these things? Why do you, mislead people? And why do you talk about trash? And, that's not the way you start a discussion about this. You say, hey, you said this at this point. I have an issue with that. You don't make broad sweeping, comments that don't have a foundation.
Michael C. says, wow, amazing how much these YouTube channels make from Patreon.
Yeah, some of them they make way more money off Patreon than they do off of YouTube. Hey, we went a long time, and my mods forgot to remind me that, by the way, it's time to do a shout out for the mods. I want to say a huge thank you to Joe and Daughter Ra and Zaphiel and Jennifer and Grimune and everybody and Brad, even Brad's workbench, even Brad. And by the way, some people think I hate Brad. It's kind of a joke between the two of us. I love Brad to death. He is a great guy. We don't always disagree. We've had private phone calls
you
where...
You mean we don't always agree?
Yeah, we don't always agree. Yes. We don't always disagree either.
Yes.
It may be more appropriate. He and I actually, quite often are very far apart in a lot of stuff. But I'm from that old kind of school where you can disagree with somebody and still be friends with them.
Yes.
And, Justin Dow, he and I, we talk and we don't always agree on everything. So, anyway, the point is, they're all mods. That's the people you see there where their name's blue and they have a little cobalt blue wrench behind there. If you got a second, pick one of them and go over and check out their channel and go take a look at it and give them a thumbs up because they do a lot to help keep this channel family friendly so the Cubs can hang out and your children can hang out and we can have a family discussion. And, and that's what our Sunday nights have become. This is what we look forward to it all week. Mm-hmm. And it's a blast. We were sitting here 2 hours and 38 minutes and I feel like we just got started. I can't believe we're this far in. And And we love that you all come here and join us. And also a huge shout out to say thank you to everyone who is a member. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's in YouTube. That's people you see the little bear icon behind their name. Membership rates start at $1 a month and go up to $10. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I think there's 3. There's 1, 5, and 10 essentially. Mm-hmm. And then also everyone who does the super chats, man. You know, you guys are incredible, and it always. I remember the first super chat I ever got, and every time a super chat comes up, I'm just astonished that people want to support the channel the way you guys do, and it really touches me, and not in a bad show the judge on the doll kind of touches me, and I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I love having a channel where, you know, as people asked me a long time ago, how big do you? When I first started out, we were less than 100 people. I did a live stream. Somebody asked, how big do you want your channel to get? And I said, I don't care. I'm just more interested in the community. And by Jove, we got that. We got a community here, and it's great.
I remember where we were when you said
that. Gary Pope. Hey, Gary, how's it going? He said, Harbor Freight's great for techs starting out. I tell my new techs to go there, not the tool trucks. Buy a bunch of stuff from the Snap-on guy. I buy a bunch of stuff from the Snap-on guy, but I own the shop and write off the taxes. That right there, what he said.
Yeah.
Mike Smith says, haters gonna hate. And mods are busy doing mod things. They're so mod these days.
They're so cool.
Frank says, I'm not in the circle. I'm in the box.
I also just realized that I'm on top chat and you're on live chat. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
No.
Okay.
Why don't you stay up to date, man? You gotta stay up to date with that.
Well, thank goodness I figured this out at the end.
You know, if you don't like the pillows, what's his name has, we actually, I'll put this up here just for funs.
That's a mug.
Oh, it's a mug. Shoot! No, where's the pillow? There's the pillow. There we go.
Yes.
Is it still trying to think about it? I don't know. Maybe doing the other one. I don't know what it's doing.
I think my phone's almost dead.
Yeah, pin the mug. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to pin the throw pillow. I was having fun over on Teespring, and I was playing around with logos, and I really like the old vintage style logos. We were up in Montana at the time. You see a lot of this stuff up there. So they the K and H. K is my last name. H is her last, both your mom and your father's last names.
My maiden and my father.
Yeah, we're both H. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a combination of that. And we got the bear and the Montana thing. Anyway, it was just for some fun. It doesn't stand for anything. There's no business associated with it. I was just doing some fun with graphic arts. I need to go use the little bear's room.
Okay.
You can have the big chair for a while.
Yay!
But I can't stand up if you're coming into my space.
Well, I'm moving the chair. Really? Live. And in color.
In color.
Okay, excellent. This is what everyone's been waiting for. I know. It's what I've been waiting for all night. I'm in the big chair. Oh my gosh, this is so much bigger than my chair. Oh, Javier Estrada said, well, I just broke my sink. It won't close the water and the lever goes all the way around. So I'm trying to get it fixed as I'm watching. Okay, Javier, I broke off the little lever on the sink recently. Mine is off. Sounds like yours is on. I'm guessing you're not local, but if you are, I did hear of a great place to get a replacement part for the sink. Mods are busy talking about trolls. That's nice. Freeze the pipe. Shadow's Edge. No, we're not going to freeze the pipe to stop the water. We're going to turn the water off. Valve under the sink broken. Yes, I'm so glad to hear that the trolls have taken a nap. I think some of our trolls just need like big hugs, and maybe they weren't snuggled enough as children. I'm not sure. D-Diz says, love the sense of community you bring to the YouTubes. Really makes the interwebs more personal. Well, I am not the bear, but I will talk for all of us. It's really important for us that it is a community and that people can, you don't have to agree with us, and you can definitely have a different opinion. And I don't ever feel like we're trying to silence somebody. We do want people to be respectful. So I'm really glad that you feel like you have a sense of community here. And we are glad that you were here. Dale says, Grimmoot, I got out of riding bikes a long time ago. Cops just don't have a sense of humor about a blind guy on a motorcycle anymore. That is so true. I do sometimes, my mother is blind as well. And she wasn't always blind. She lost her vision, basically as I was becoming an adult. And so sometimes I do think it would be fun to take my mom like to a beach or to a big parking lot and just sort of let her drive. Although I don't know if she would enjoy that. Maybe that's one of those things that I think would be fun. So Grizzly makes a good table saw. Thank you, Howie Z. Ronald Smith, yes, the battery is dying on my phone. There is a power cord behind me, and there's a power supply in my... That's right, but I'd have to have the cord for the phone out here. Can I help you?
I have the cord for the phone out here.
Oh, thank you for keeping it hostage and
I
not
just
sharing.
don't have a plug to plug it in.
It's right there.
Oh, I guess we could plug it in right there.
He's a goofball. Are you gonna make me give your seat
I am
back?
going to make you give me
Oh,
your seat back.
so mean.
Let me help you with that.
No. Jennifer, go have a great dinner. I have to ask, where are you that your husband is calling you for dinner now? Where are you?
I think she's in Southern California.
Okay. Mike Smith says, love the family-friendly feel of our channel. Keep up the awesome work. Do not tickle me. That is not what Mike said.
Can you grab that? What did you knock on the floor?
I didn't knock anything on the floor. That looks like something a child created.
No, it's one of the handles for the soldering gun.
Sure it is.
Oh. And
Now
I'm now
you're
knocking
knocking stuff
everything over.
Nice. Shadow's Edge. Talking to daughter Bra.
Keep reading. I'm trying to find your power
Howie Z
cord.
says, your community is calling people trolls for having an opinion, not really a shining example of a stable community.
What's the opinion? Saying you have an opinion isn't the same as actually having an opinion. You have to actually express what your opinion is based on. I mean, that's the rule of a polite society. If you're going to come in and go, you're wrong, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I think he was confused because Daughter Bra and some of the mods were talking about the trolls. So I think maybe you got confused that we were thinking that people that were voicing opinions were trolls. Daughter Bra said,
Where are you reading this?
Daughter Bra says, Howie Z, we call trolls for stating things repeatedly without any references or proof.
Yeah. Yeah. That is literally the definition of trolling on the internet.
Right. Dale says, Mrs. loved your sort of catwalk appearance in the jacket video. Really enjoyed seeing the bears. Yes, as you can tell, my modeling career will not be taking off anytime soon.
I was counting on that money.
Well, we might need a backup plan. I am not an actress, but I do love my jacket. I don't think I'm on screen anymore. Michael C., thanks for the live chat. Gotta go. See you in the next one. Have a good night.
Here's something I wish. I wish they would have included USB-C on this box.
Oh, you missed the part where Javier broke his sink, by the way.
Oh.
It says, does look like a broken valve, but I'll have to fix it tomorrow because the nearest hardware store is 20 minutes away and it's late. So I'm assuming that you know how to turn off the water to your house if the valve is broken.
Or to your sink. You can usually
your
just...
sink.
Oh, it's the valve to the sink. I was thinking it was the faucet.
Well,
That's a problem. All right.
Joe Smith was clarifying, if you hate something, say why. Saying you hate something 10 times is spamming.
Yeah. And just saying I hate it, you're wrong my youngest child, 8 years old, knows better than to try and bring that kind of stuff to the table. If you don't like something, you need to be able to articulate why. Otherwise, you're just probably repeating something somebody else told you, and you don't know why. And if you can't articulate, then you don't. know why you don't like something.
Tim Johnson says Tools and More at the outlet malls are selling Tecton tools for a good price. They have about 20 feet on the wall.
Wow. Tools and More at the outlet store, huh?
Daughter of Ross said she may have to turn a bear into a fur blanket. It's freezing here. How cold is it?
You should come visit us.
Yes.
It's
You guys
so
should
cold.
come here from Michigan, and you could enjoy the not snowiness.
You can see the snow on the mountains. I always love being able to go up to the mountains to visit the snow. It's about an hour's drive to get to snow right now. About an hour.
Yes. Sorry, there's discussion about PewDiePie, and I'm confused.
He's not retiring. He's taking a break. 56 degrees. Going to get down to a low of 47. Oh, so cold.
Rick said, what is the name of the place where you buy the inexpensive work jackets?
Oh, it's like, remember when we bought Carhartt for everyone? I found that the discount Carhartt place, and I had, man, it's skipping me. Let's see here. It's, what do they call them? They're not clearance. They're like damaged or something. What do you call that kind of clothing?
Refurbished?
Not refurbished. Clothing. Not misprints.
Oh.
Come on, you're the girl. You're supposed to know this
Stop
stuff.
talking.
You can't think while I talk? This isn't helping?
I'll beat you with something.
Oh, look what I found. Guess what I sold? What these go to? I sold them like 6 months ago, and I found these. I'm like, yeah, we can't use them.
Yes, I know who PewDiePie is. I just didn't understand the reference that you guys were making, but thank you, Daughter of Ra. She was saying that PewDiePie is one of the biggest YouTube channels, if not the biggest. Yes, I know.
Yeah, I think T-Series finally beat him out. It's hard to compete with all of India.
What is it called?
Factory Seconds?
Sure.
So, I think it was Super Casuals.
Blemish, thrift stop.
Blemished.
Thrift shops.
Super Casuals. And it's literally supercasual.com. And like when I was looking for something.
Super Casuals with an S.
Yes.
.com.
Here, I can do this. 'Cause I have the power. There we go.
Wait, are you saying that PewDiePie was on our channel a few minutes ago?
Who's saying this?
Daughter of Ra. Anyways, in other news.
We had PewDiePie for a half second. How did I miss him?
Yeah, I missed him too. Thank you, Rick, for saying that we rock. Why would you put my phone so far away?
I bet it wasn't actually him. I bet it was somebody who made a name that was...
But, you know, that's all right. I'm okay with PewDiePie hanging out. He's welcome in our community. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because he's not showing up as a certified...
Verified. Whatever.
Verified. Well, maybe it doesn't do it on that one. Let me come over here to this one. Live stream. There we go.
11 degrees here in
sort of
Indiana. While you're doing that, I'm going to be checking on my phone. 10 degrees here. Wind chill of 2. Budman, 1778. Al says, your wife is beautiful. How did you get an old bear something? Because the arrow was there. Thank you for saying I'm beautiful.
She is, isn't she? Your wife is beautiful. How did an old bear like you get a woman like that? Narcotics. I darted her. I'd watched a whole episodes of what was it?
Daughter of Ross
What
said
is it?
it was.
Omaha's
Check
Wild
his account.
Kingdom. And
Did you see that?
no, what?
That it was him. Should check the account.
You're kidding.
Thank you for joining us, PewDiePie.
Dude, if you're still here, my Cubs love the snot out of you. We were watching your video today about the taking a break, and I totally get it, man. When you've been doing something a long time, as long as you have, and it's hard, man. When you're really into your passion, your career, what you're doing, it's hard to step back from it. But sometimes that you need to. You need to get that readjustment, that mental clarity, and figure it out. But I can only imagine. But anyway, you should ring the bell for PewDiePie.
PewDiePie. Bing! 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 Sorry,
It's so
kind of
loud.
late. I know it is late. And it's loud. 22 degrees in Smyrna.
In Smyrna. Is PewDiePie in the U.S. or is he in Sweden?
I don't know.
I know he's from there. So anyway,
Or we both just determined through Joe it was a fan channel. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're happy. Either way. All are welcome. So, outlet store. Thank you again, Al, for saying I'm beautiful. That's nice.
hold on, keep reading.
Grimmoot, it was not a good sign. Gonna be a wicked fix. Oh.
That's
Jennifer
not good.
White Wolf is back. Just made sandwiches. Okay, what kind of sandwiches? We haven't had a food conversation in a long time.
Do we?
Like-
I'm eating one meal a day. I don't know if I need a food conversation.
Okay. Barbara Elvig said, "Thank you. Found a coupon on database to buy welder tomorrow. My
There
husband
you go.
is so excited."
That's
So
awesome.
That's awesome. Daughter of Raw watches Mr. Beast drop in and drop 10K. That would be a heart attack. That would be very cool.
That
We're
would be
also
a
open to
moment.
that. And we also watch Mr. Beast. Our kids love watching that. We love watching him
I do
change
like a lot of his
people's,
stuff.
You know, people's lives. So yeah, it is really cool.
Did you see the one he did where he took like 100 electric leaf blowers and tried to see if they could fly?
I think I did.
That was quite a. That's how I found him. Was that one, and he's done some fun, like going into a car,
PewDiePie is back.
like going into a car dealership. Good game. You got pwned. No, that's awesome.
Yes, Daughter of Ra, I got the magical ingredient that I needed to make pumpkin bread. DR Falcon says pumpkin bread? Question mark.
Was that an oven?
What?
Oh, nothing. And
No, that was not the secret ingredient. I'm talking about the secret ingredient the children keep drinking before I can put it into the pumpkin bread.
10 degrees Fahrenheit in Madison, Indiana. Madison's a nice town. It's got some nice parts. I've been to Madison. I used to live in Indianapolis and would go all over in Indiana. Howie, by the way, again, if you type at the Den of Tools, it makes it easier to see the comments.
And David is asking
Unless
what's
you're not talking to me, in which case it's totally fine.
the red nose.
And anyway, what? Am I interrupting you again?
Oh my gosh. Come here. Lean in.
Ah!
So David, what's up with the red nose tonight? I don't know what the lighting is because he does not have a red nose. And I don't have a red nose. Most of the time when it's funky lighting, both of us look red. So
No, I can tell you what it is. I did it. I was playing around with the camera settings because I was trying to find a way to control
look
focus.
like Rudolph the
Well, no,
Red-Nosed
this this webcam that we're using for this, I also use it for my desktop reviews. I have it mounted to a rig hanging from the ceiling, and then I can pivot it down for desktop stuff and pivot it up for this kind of stuff. And it was, as you've seen the videos, it does this jump focus thing. So I downloaded the actual app, because usually I just load drivers and try to stay away from the bloatware that comes with apps like things like this. And so I downloaded the app for it, and it's actually pretty streamlined. It's a pretty nice little app. But as I was going through it, I noticed you could do all these color corrections. So I started playing with the color corrections. And I was like, oh, that's a much better color, and this is a better color. And I did, oversaturate the colors a little bit. My nose is looking red like I've been drinking all night.
It's weird, though, because I'm the opposite.
What it is
Because I'm closer to the
it's
light?
in shadow. When there's less light, it turns more red. So
Okay.
I maybe take it back. I don't know. It's because this side of my nose is more red than this side.
Yeah.
And this is the side that's...
It's your
I got
Rudolph
life up there
genes.
and life- yeah,
They're coming out.
Really?
By the way, that's horrible. Somebody
That's
asked...
because it's my soda.
Yes, I know. Kermit, it is not liquor. That was the secret ingredient I needed. He says, got to keep the liquor locked up.
Yes, it is. It's bourbon.
Not the secret ingredient the children kept drinking.
Oh, well, no,
Yes.
that was the eggnog.
Yes. Thank you.
It's not a secret. I published the recipe on our website.
Henny, stay out of my conversation. 14 degrees in Wisconsin.
Wow Cool says, I found a Husky Tony Stewart rolling toolbox, 43-inch, $200. Good deal. Sounds like a good deal. I get it. Yes, jumping around. It's all over the place. I got to see it to make sure.
Thank you so much.
They
Dear
make-
Falcon says, please become a member of Den of Tools. To sign up, hit the button over there.
That's nice. Thank you so much. You guys are great.
Elfvis, I'm looking at you. He says you should take her bell apart and put a small piece of electrical tape inside. It will dampen the sound and it won't be as painful
Ooh,
to your sensitive ursine ears.
that's our sign. I love that.
Yep.
Wow, that's a cool looking box. $200. I'd jump on that in a heartbeat. That's a collector's edition, if nothing else.
Nello says, thoughts on Makita finally building a battery charger / radio. I suppose the patent has run out for the don't want one. I'm figuring the price point will be over $200.
None of these companies do a radio / charger, do they? Maybe there's one or two, but it doesn't seem to be something that people are really desperate for, because it's like if you're going to, and it adds to the cost also. It does, because if you can plug something in, then you're adding in, and you've got the device, so now you've got to add in internals for a charger. Which is why I was so surprised with her jacket that the adapter wasn't just an adapter, it's actually a charger for the M12. So
Jennifer White Wolf had a ham, American cheese, arugula, and dandelion salad greens, and spicy Mexican cheese spread on the bun. So that sounds delicious.
speaking of fun kind of 12-volt stuff, so I've been playing around, and I knew this in the back of my head, that the reason that these batteries, and not just the Hercules, all these 18/20 volt batteries, is that they have multiple ports is so they can do balance charging, and because they have the cells in here, but then they divide them into different I can't remember the word for packs or whatever, the different groups of cells. So you have basically 3 in here, and so you've the first one, the last one, and the middle one, they're 6 volts each essentially. So that's how you get up to 18 volt nominal, 20 volt max. So if you've got something that's 12 volt and you need a 12 volt, but you don't want to buy a separate 12 volt battery, you could just, instead of going negative to the first terminal, you go to the second terminal and it's 12 volts. And I surprised myself, and yet surprised myself for not thinking about it sooner. So anyway, I just think about it because I do a lot of projects where I need 12 volt power. So.
How do you say that?
Which one?
Mardoc.
Point to it. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Underneath Wow Cool. It says, I have a
Mardoc.
I have a 2 horsepower, 10-inch cabinet saw from the early days of Harbor Freight. Know anything about it?
The old Central Machinery things, from what I've heard, they're decent saws. I don't think they're technically cabinet saws because the trunnions, if I'm not mistaken, are mounted to the table. Are the trunnions mounted to the table or to the cabinet itself? Someone's whispering, no, it's her.
I have a question. So I saw this and I thought it was pretty
Hold on, let me finish answering his question, okay?
Sorry.
All right. So the biggest problem with them is the fence. That style of fence, it's probably got the old tube style fence. It's okay. It can get stuff done. But you can pick up a great Bessemer fence for about $200. Lowe's and Home Depot both sell it. I think it's by Jet. They probably have to order it and ship it to you or something. But if you could get one of those adapted to that, you'd have a pretty decent saw.
Go ahead.
What's Demogorgon's favorite thing?
What's Demogorgon's favorite
No,
thing?
what's a Demogorgon's favorite thing?
Demo chips? I don't know.
Children.
a barbecue. Barbara from the first season.
Bye now.
Okay.
Oh my.
Love you. Yep, she's sick. Daughter of Ross said, as the bear states, he feeds the kids the bourbon. See?
Yes.
This is how...
Well, I'm from Germany. That's what they did to me when I was young and I was sick. You get the bourbons.
Yep. Good night, guys. Good night, Javier. You build it, we destroy it. Says Bosch and the Milwaukee radio charger could run off a battery prior to the pack out radio.
Did we say goodnight to Jim Haynes yet?
I thought we did. Good night,
Okay.
Jim. Jennifer White Wolf says, a shout out to Paul Short's channel.
Paul Short.
That's what Jennifer White Wolf said.
Shout out to Paul Short. Check out his channel. Don't know what it is, but Jennifer says it's a good one, so it must be good. Remember, we always do what Jennifer tells us.
Yes.
Or she'll put the cone of shame on us, too.
That's right. J Bedome 1 says, I am always wary about stuff being integrated into other stuff. Either you get something that doesn't work well, or one of the integrated devices kills the whole unit.
That's usually the case. When you get a combo, you're usually not getting... even the Leatherman, they're not great at any one thing, but they're decent at a bunch of stuff. Javier says, good night, guys. He's taking off. Fine. And I was too busy trying to make sure I was caught up. You should sell a life-size cutout of the bear. I would put it in my garage for a conversation piece.
Yep. David?
The sad part is, he's not the first person to say
ask for that. We haven't figured that out yet. Maybe, you know what? That's what it is, honey. I could rent you out.
Just post.
Just like, okay, honey, you're going to Cincinnati next week.
I would totally go to Cincinnati so I could get some freaking decent chili.
Do not send us Skyline chili.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if it's keto.
I knew. We'll look into it. If it's keto, maybe you can send it. He loves Skyline chili. Like a weirdo. And Ronald Smith, while you're looking this up, says, is the word you're looking for, is it banks? Remember the banks of batteries? Is that
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
And while you're still looking that up, Nello F says, Makita Radio Stanley at Dirt Monkey on YouTube have featured it on one of those some videos. Could you try that again?
Dirt Monkey is a great guy to watch. He's another person who will tell you, when you're starting off, don't waste your money. Buy the best tools that you can afford that will get the job done. Not the best tools you can afford that will get the job done. Don't overspend. He just talked to a couple of people who were they started off doing an excavation company. Young people.
Yes, I remember.
And they start off by renting the tools to do the job.
And they were very young. Like, I think, didn't they officially start the company when they were in high school?
Yeah. And all the stuff they have, even the stuff they have now, they bought used. Yeah. They needed work. They, you don't just go out there, man. It's hard for me to impart upon a lot of you what my experience is with business. Because if it's anything I know more, what I know about tools, it pales compared to what I know about business. I've run so many businesses from small startups to multi-million-dollar companies. And I've sat in boardrooms with people that are literally worth $1 billion and had them turn to me and go, what's your opinion? Jeff, tell me what you think we should do here. And have them listen to me and do it. Because I'm that kind of like nerdy geek kind of person who does those deep dives and finds out every single option. And I didn't finish college. I went to college for history, the philosophy of ancient religion, because it was something I was interested in, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I would leave the construction site, go to class, come back to the construction site, go back to class. And that's what I did all for years. And I ended up just giving up on school because I realized that no one was going to pay me to do the other thing. And but I've learned so much about business in my almost 51 years. It's just kind of ridiculous. And when I tell you these things, it comes from seeing so many businesses fail. I went through the dot-com disaster when there was a time in California, Northern California, where you could not rent a U-Haul truck. They were all gone. There were none in the state. They'd all been taken, and there was a mass migration out of Northern California. And if you wanted to, you just literally couldn't find a U-Haul because people and companies had failed so hard. And we made it through that. And then there was the housing crash. And when other people were losing a house, we waited and bought a house. Because I'm a contrarian. I buy when the market's down. If the market's crashing, I go, okay, it's getting close. And then when I see it skip off the bottom, boom, that's when you do it. And that's why we made $135,000 selling our own house.
Right.
When everyone else was losing their hats, we made hats.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I think our grandparents' generation and older, it was really about saving, and putting off instant gratification to be able to buy whatever it is you need, a car, a house, whatever. And depending on what your cultural background, there's also a lot of cultures where the parents help you buy a house or something like that.
Well, you go outside the U.S., almost nobody has a loan on a house.
Right. So I think people just need to, I think it would be smart if people started remembering that. You know, that it's okay to not keep up with the Joneses. It's okay to not have a shiny new car every single year. You don't need to lease a vehicle. Find a vehicle. Why are you going backwards?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was on mine.
Find a vehicle that is okay for 2 or 3 years so that you own it outright and you can save money. Be smart with your investments and teach your children. Like, I think my fear as a mom is they're going to go off to college, they're going to pay full price, and they're going to call me within like a week and a half of going to college and be like, I don't have any money for food and I still need to buy half my books. And that's probably going to happen. Even though they know about couponing, they're going to be so tired of their mom being like, we need a coupon for that they will rebel, and then they'll be broke. And then they'll learn, remember,
for real.
That's why. And that's the reality. I mean, that is the reality as a parent, is that your kids are going to do that. So I try to remind people to be smart with your money, and do the best that you can. And sometimes that means starting over, you know? I think that's what a lot of people's lessons have to be, which is, we went down this rabbit hole. It's not going to work. We got to start over and do something different. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you learned something, hopefully. Sorry. Didn't mean to go on a financial rant.
I'm just saying, where's Daughter Ra with her flamethrower now?
Hey, eBay, Amazon for books. Yes, I know.
Yep.
I know that. It's when they're an adult and, you know, they go to college and there's the credit card person. I can give you this brand new t-shirt for some stupid credit card company that you don't care about. That's going to say Credit One or Capital One or any of the credit cards that are going to be like, you have no job and no marketable skills and you're going to school? Excellent. We'll give you $25,000.
Mardak said mounted to the top. I don't remember what the comment was about. Jared says, just bought an Ego mower and love it. The Egos, they make great mowers. There's no question about it. Daughter Ross says, he isn't the first person to say this tonight. What was that? Pimp out the bear.
Yes, I agree.
Put him on street corner. You build it, you destroy it. Said bad things about Skyline, saying it's not keto or paleo.
No, but I think you and I both went online, and there's ways to make a copycat recipe that'll be keto.
Yeah, but it's never as good. The copycat recipes are never as good.
I don't know. The
Although
copycat one for
Brady made one that was pretty good. It was.
Yeah.
I hate to admit that.
Well, the copycat one for the Supa Toscana from the Olive Garden is like really good. Katie, I don't know if you're on tonight, but you make a bomb version of that.
Yeah. Marduk said, I gave up drinking at 84 and started buying tools. That's a good way to save some money.
Yeah.
Tim Hood, good night, folks. Already loaded and have to hit the road early in the morning. Have a great week. You have a good one. And, we're after 9. We need to close up shop here ourselves. Let me catch up here. Ron Smith, yeah, you're right. If you're running it, hit brakes. They fix it, replace it right there so you don't lose a beat. Which is why the big companies use Hilti and they lease their tools because they don't have to worry about maintaining them. D. Salaris says, do you know who makes Amazon Basic Tools? It's too many different companies. They do a lot of different companies that they work with. Paul St. Marie says, you're still here. I know. We're not going to be here much longer. She doesn't rant as often. Yeah, but when she does, she just goes and she's so slow and she talks. And she sits so far from... She leans back as far from the microphone as she possibly can. Good night from Hudson Valley, New York. Don't you...
Excuse me. I had to regulate.
JB Down says, I drove my 94 Cherokee as a daily driver. I love those old Cherokees. After maintenance and spending to have it towed from Yermo back to Vegas after it blew a head gasket, still only cost me about $100 a month. I did that for years. I never had a new vehicle until I never bought a new vehicle until I was in my 40s. That's not true. I was 38 when I bought my first new vehicle. It had 7 miles on it, and it was scary as all heck. I tried very hard never to spend more than $1,000 on a vehicle, and if it lasted a year, that was, basically I consider that I broke even, and if it lasted beyond that, I was making money, and I wouldn't put any maintenance into it. I did that for years, and I'd get fun. I'd do great vehicles. I drove Audis and BMWs and Volvos. I drove a lot of older European kind of things, that it just, and they were great cars. They were lots of fun. And a little bit older, maybe about 10 years, 15 years old. A lot of fun. Love the sound of the motors and those old things. Inline 5-cylinder. Go on.
No, finish with your car discussion.
No, I was going to go on to the next comment.
Lots of people are talking about buyback books and doing used books. Absolutely. I know about it. I used it. It's, the kids are going to make mistakes. They're going to buy brand new books, and you can steer them to the right place, but when they're that old, they're going to do what they want. And Lewis asked, was that the bear in the background? That was the youngest cub, Goblin Bear. He was hungry. They're all hungry again. I think he's going through a growth spurt. He's been eating like 2 sandwiches in his lunch every day.
Oh, man.
One morning, he ate both sandwiches in the car in the morning after he had breakfast and passed out for 20 minutes and took a nap. So I think he's just growing.
Yeah. Novosnick says, good night, y'all. Paul St. Marie says, if you're looking for Cincinnati chili recipes, then Cooks Illustrated an article on it a while back. Nello says, thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. LOL, it's 25 here in Connecticut. I have dozens of friends in Vegas. I come in for the SEMA show. Hope to meet you at Harbor Freight. Dude, I was at SEMA. Yeah, I wish I'd known. We could have met up. We had a couple people meet up. We went out to we had some Moroccan food. Oh, great night. Did I just mispronounce his name? Because you probably pronounced it differently before.
What did you say?
Nello?
I think we said it correct.
All right. Let's see here. David Fry says, thanks for keeping it clean. Good night. See you next week. Thank you very much, David. Louis Burmaster, I remember a lot of $1,000 junkers. Now I want nice. Well, but that's the thing is, I'm at that point in life where I've gotten to the point where I can afford these things. And if it dies, if it breaks or something goes wrong, I can get a new one. It's not, but I took that money and I used it other places, and it allowed me to do more things. It's spend the money where it counts. Let's see here. Jennifer White Wolf, keto chili is very much possible. No beans, lots of. Yeah, keto chili is not Cincinnati chili. You gotta look up what Cincinnati chili is. It's a totally different kind of thing.
I think it's possible. I think that I don't love chili the way that you do, and if I did,
no, because you're a communist.
Be...
Dirty communist.
Everyone avert your eyes. I'm going to find a tool to whack him in the head because obviously he needs some reprogramming.
DR Fox says, my day, we could get running driving Chevys for $100. My brother was buying Corvairs for $25, $50, selling them away. Made a killing selling them.
Storing them away.
Storing them. I made, my first car was $300. Paul St. Marie chuckle. I've always bought new and driven them into the ground. Typically, I'll get 300,000 miles. That's pretty nice.
Right.
Yep. Grameen says, "Oh my God, I'm getting the I know everything and you're stupid from the daughter now."
Oh, yes. Okay, how old is she? Because we have a similar... Actually, Mom. Yeah, that happens.
It's funny because she does that. Duncan will start to do it, and then he'll realize, no, I'm out of my depths. Yeah. I got that. I was younger, and I can remember trying to be like that, and then I can still remember the day me thinking, I'm tired of being wrong all the time, and making this switch went off, and that's what turned me into the analytical beepity beep that you love so much right now.
Oh, yes.
It drives you crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. He's all mine.
We had a disagreement the other day. I was sitting here working. I went inside, and she asked me a question. I answered her question, but I didn't answer the question that she thought in her head. I answered the question she actually asked me. And we got into a dispute about that, and I'm like, fine, I'm done with this. I came out here, sat down, started doing work. She chased me out here. No, you're wrong, wrong.
I chased you?
Yep. So I pulled up TextPad, and I typed in, number 1, here's the question you asked me. Number 2, here's the question that you meant, but did not ask. Hence, I did not answer. And she's like, that's not true. And she turns to me, I'm like, okay, what did you ask me? She turns to me and she goes, I said blank, 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 blank. And I made her look at the screen, and it was verbatim. How'd that feel?
That may or may not have happened.
How'd that feel? Just so you know, I'm sleeping by myself tonight.
Daughter of Ross says, backs the wife no matter what she says. That's right. That's why we're friends.
I love you to death, but you have a tragically female way of communicating.
Yeah, you should probably never say that statement ever
again.
Nope. He would like to apologize now. Yeah.
See, I can say that because I know she'll never find someone as very handsome as me.
That's true. You're very, very handsome.
Oh, let's see here.
So, Gurmoot did answer a question. She's 20 and she's moved out with the boyfriend.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, when you're 20, you do know everything. The good news is girls typically figure out that they don't sooner than boys.
Unfortunately, they learn that because of the boys usually.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I would say 22, 23 versus yeah.
Raymond says, hi, this is my first time posting, and I've been watching your videos for a couple of weeks now. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
And welcome to the den. And then Daughter Ross says, Bear gets the couch, I get the fur.
That's right. That's a great relationship.
Sectioning me out already.
Ronald Smith says, I'm not allowed to have my sons where I'm at, but if I want something nice for the weekend, I ran it or it's a loan to me. Oh, nice.
I'm not allowed to have my sons where I'm at, but if I want something nice for the weekend, I ran it or it's loaned to me, nice Ferrari or Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. We're going to be in just a little bit. Okay, please don't throw up on mine.
Do you need to go with her? Go on, we're about to close up shop.
Go? No, I think she's okay. I'll be in just a minute, okay?
You sure? Okay.
Yep.
Hi.
She
Bye,
says
Princess. We're going to be in just a minute, okay?
Joe said he liked your drawing.
All right, guys. We're at 245 likes. Give me 5 more likes, and we can close up shop, and then we can take care of the baby girl there. And you look tired.
I didn't like it yet. Thank you, Daughter, for reminding me.
Are you going to go to sleep?
Ow.
Yeah, you're just going to pass out like you did last time?
Okay.
Like on the floor, like someone shot you?
Why do you smell funny? What have
You okay?
been eating?
Maybe.
What have you been eating?
Oh, jeez.
A cough drop?
Anyway, thank you very much, everyone who joined us. We are going to be signing off here. It is 9:29, which is longer than we usually cut it off around 9, but we had a lot of conversations, kept going all night. We're at 248. Come on, need 2 more likes. I can't leave until I get 2 more likes. Harbor Freight's going to call me home. You're too young to remember that.
Yes.
When he was like, if God gave me a message, if I don't raise $6 million or whatever, he's going to call me home.
How many? How many more do we need?
None. We're at 252.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Thank you. As Joe Smith says, thank you, heroes. Thank you, Mr. Joe Smith and the Dancing Mod Squad. You guys are amazing. I love each and every one of you. I feel so blessed to have a community like this. Anyway, that's it for us for the evening. We're gonna go take care of the cubs. Obviously, the little girl, when we started, she was like, I don't feel well, blah, blah. And now she's like, I'm dying. I'm wasting away. So we got to go take care of her. Anyway, you didn't know I did impersonations, did you? Well, so many talents and so many skills around here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Hope you can join us next week also for Tool Talk Live with Jeff and the family and Labradog and who else shows up. We love having you each and every weekend. So, come be part of the... All right, yes, we are the answer. And don't forget to thank your mod, your selected adopted mod. Adopt a mod. We have to have I need a graphic for that. We need the Adopt a mod program. And go and check out their channel and give them a thumbs up and maybe subscribe, all right?
Oh, Daughter Rod dances.
All right.
Thank you.
Oral Roberts, that was it.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everyone. Guys and gals, Cubs and Cubettes, you have a great one. Take care. And as always, say it with me. Shine on.